Yo, 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 yo. Yes, yes. Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is the season review. I am going to go through highlights of all 22 races and give each of these races that we have seen on this calendar a mark out of 10. I'm going to rate every, and it's going to take all night. So get in. If you're into Formula One, get yourself subscribed. I'm live every single qualifying and every single race. And that won't be until next March because this season's finished. This is the review. And the next watch along is going to be, I think, March the 4th. So ideas on a postcard, how we bridge the gap on the channel until then. But I'm going to go through the highlights. It's going to take all night, but I'm going to go through the highlights of each race. Yes, Chris. And we're going to give them all a mark out of 10. I'm just going to go through them all. I've forgotten most of what's happened during the season, to be honest with you. It's not been a classic. I give you right now, these aren't going to be rated 10 out of 10. No chance. There might be a couple of 9s, you know, a few 8s, couple of 9s. But yeah, we're gonna go through them all. I'm gonna get up the video. I'm gonna just go through the highlights. I can't show the footage on the stream because we'd be immediately banned forever. So, but yeah, welcoming Kim, Ryan. Nearly called you Kim for some reason. Kim, Ryan, Beth's in as well. Beth's waiting for the Twitch thing. But thank you, Jamza, for sending people over. Big ups to Jamza. I think I seen as soon as I come live, I saw a little notification that said Jamza Live football viewers are now watching your stream or something like that. But yeah, Russia is crossed out. I don't think that's going to be the real driller. But welcome in, Nathan. All of them, all of them. I don't know if you can hear that music in the back. I'll just see what it says that I've got music on, but I can't hear it. I don't know if you can. If it's too loud, let me know. If it's too quiet. Anyway. But yeah, Russia's crossed out because that got the big delete. That got the big, massive delete, did Russia, with all the crap that's going on. Am I drinking? You know what? Yes. I never, when I'm on a serious watch-along, never, but it's going to be one of them. By the end of the stream, I'll be on my own, mate. Oh, by the end, because this is going to be... It's all night, Jamzas. It's all night to get in. Because each race highlight video is about 7 minutes long. In fact, I better get on with it in a minute. Each race highlight video is about 7 minutes long. There's 22 of them. It's about 3 hours. But I love it. I want a refresh anyway because I've forgotten what happened in Azerbaijan. I ain't got a clue. I don't remember. You know what I mean? What happened in the Austrian Grand Prix? Sainz's car set on fire. That's the only thing I remember. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice to go through them all. Let's go. I know. I wish I could show the footage on screen, but I'll just have to describe what's going on. You know how streaming is. You know it is, Jamza. You know how the game works. Right. Let's get up. Let's go up the first one. So I have got a couple of graphics lined up. You know, I'm not a complete. We can put this on now. Watching Bahrain, and then we will give Bahrain. I'll watch the highlights, and then we'll give Bahrain a rating out of 10, and we'll go through them all. Right, let's line up Bahrain. Here we go. This was round 1. Everything's gonna get a mark out of 10, and then at the end of this season, once I've gone through them all, we'll give a season a mark out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, 2021 season was a 10 out of 10. This was not a 10 out of 10 season, but let's have a look at Bahrain. Right, oh my God, that's loud on my headphones. Right, so this was Bahrain. We're underway now. So it was Leclerc on pole. I do remember that Ferrari were really strong in the first part of the season. And in fact, the first 3 races were good. So these are just 7-minute highlight videos that I'm just going to watch and try and describe the action to you. So also we had a Haas right up there. You see, there's things you forget. So in Bahrain, we had Kevin Magnussen up in like P5. Ridiculous. So it was Leclerc from Ferrari started the season well. It was Leclerc from Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Magnussen, and the Alpines were pink. Oh, and Ocon spun round Schumacher on lap 1. Yeah, Ocon spun Schumacher on lap 3. We're on board Lewis Hamilton. Oh, Magnussen goes wide. Yeah, Magnussen was up there in P5 in the Haas, round 1. What a madness. Red Bull were bad, I'll let you tell the rest. Red Bull were absolutely dominated it. Yes, Ernesto, welcome in, mate. Yes, JJ, how we doing, bro? I am watching highlights of all 22 races. I don't know, JJ. I have no idea. I have no idea. So by lap 10 in Bahrain, it was already Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez. So it was already Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. Merc were 5th and 6th. Right, cut to lap 17. Oh, and it's Leclerc v Verstappen. You see, the season started off so promisingly, didn't it? The season started off with so much promise. Verstappen passes Leclerc into turn 1, and Leclerc comes back at him. We forget how good these early races were. This is a good race. Bahrain's a good race. Leclerc gets the position back in P4. They're battling for the lead. They were battling for the lead. Lap 18. Nah, give it 1,000,000 to 1. Nah, give it 1,000,000 to 1. Football way! It's Nathan! Yeah, jump in for a collab. Right. They were battling for the lead lap 18. Nah, I've got a feeling. I think I know who it is. Initials SD. Initials SD maybe. Rather than NC, rather than Nathan Carrick, it might be initials SD. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? I tell you what, the battle between Verstappen and Leclerc in Bahrain was really, really good. At the moment, I'm thinking this gets like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10, this. Looking back at Bahrain. Compared to the rest of the season, yes, Lewis. This is actually really good. Okay, Gasly broke down on lap 46. Okay, I don't remember Gasly having a fire. Who remembers the Gasly engine fire on lap 46 in Bahrain? Because I certainly don't. So Gasly retired, and quite an explosive end to his race. Yeah, Alpha Tauri. Jeez, no. As if it's just happening now. No. I don't even remember that happening. But I do know there was late drama. Lap 50 of 57 then. In Bahrain. I made a full season. Got to go through. I'm going to be here at 1 in the morning like, D-lad. I'm thinking, this is an 8 out of 10, this. 8.5. You want to release your inner Ochoa? Ochoa. He's goated, Ochoa, isn't he? He's mint. I got Nathan Carrick in the stream. I'm happy, me. This is more than I could ever want from this stream. I don't care how many views I get. I've got Nathan Carrick in. Denver's not on that. It's an 8.5 in Anto. Look at this. They're battling again. Right, Sainz passes Verstappen. Verstappen with the problem with 3 laps to go. Ferrari 1-2. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Mate, this is 8.5 in Anto. Oh, it's a Red Bull. It was a Red Bull disaster. Verstappen retires from the race on lap 54 or 57 in Bahrain. Season opening race. Ernesto, cheers, bro. Right, so Verstappen retired. Then we got, this is final lap now. And Hamilton challenging Perez on the final lap, and Perez spins. Right, oh, this is a 9. This. For drama, I mean, I love drama. I love drama. Perez engine cut out on the final lap, and it's a Ferrari 1-2. Right, that's Bahrain. Right, Leclerc wins it. I mean, what are we saying about Bahrain? Leclerc wins it. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Both Red Bulls DNF in the last 3 laps. I think I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. That I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. We started the season really good. Right, we're going to knock on Saudi Arabia now. Right, round two. Saudi Arabia, right, that's queued up. Right. We started off the season really well. Can you come on now? It's not on StreamYard, this. Whoever you are. if it's the real Nathan or not. No, it's not on StreamYard. So, no. in a word. Right. I don't know what's going on this green screen. If I lean forward, it goes, right, well, I've got to keep my head back to keep the green screen in full flow. What's going on with that? Right, Saudi Arabia, let's hit it because it's round 2 of 22. Let's go. So the season started off really well. It was high drama, a Ferrari 1-2. In fact, incidentally, that might have been the only Ferrari 1-2 the entire year. Weirdly enough, that might have been the only Ferrari 1-2. Right, here we go then. This is highlights of Saudi Arabia. Ooh, a bit of JD. Right, lights out and away we go. It was Verstappen on pole, was it? Or was it Perez on pole? It was Perez on pole in Saudi Arabia. Who remembered that? Answers on a postcard. Who remembered that Perez was on pole there? Hey? Nobody. So it's Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen. So this is round 2, Saudi Arabia. And it's Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz. The Alpines are still bright pink, which I'd totally forgotten about as well. Okay. Alpines battling on lap 5. I do remember this. The two Alpines battling, and they nearly crashed into each other. That's a battle that goes on all season as well. Yeah, no worries, Nath. I've been calling you for about 8 months, Nath, on Facebook. You never answer though, do you? I've been phoning you for 8-9 months, Nathan. I give it 1,000 to 1 that it's actually Nathan. I give you 1,000 to 1 right now at William Hill. Okay, so I remember this right. So Perez was leading on lap 16, pits earlier than anyone else. How many pot noodles? Yeah, how would you prove it? How could we prove if it really is? Latifi crashed on lap 16. Nightmare settings. Yeah, how could we prove it? What's something only I would know? And he would know. I don't know. There's got to be a way to prove it, innit? Oh, I'll think of that. There'll be a way to verify him. He ain't getting verified. Right, okay. So we got Perez and Sainz battling for the lead with the. So Latifi crashed, forced a safety car. He would answer your call. He's on a break anyway. I don't know. Maybe it is. Who knows? Right. So by the time the safety car comes in on lap 21, is it Sainz in the lead? No. So okay, Leclerc leads. I don't remember Leclerc leading in Saudi Arabia. Yes, Keith. How we doing? Cut to lap 36. Yes, Keith. Alonso retires from the race. Alonso had rotten luck all season, didn't he? Alonso had rotten luck all season. And it started in round 2, Saudi Arabia, with his pink Alpine that I'd totally forgotten about. Game over. Ricciardo DNF as well, at 37 out of 50. But then we had a great finale to it. I remember we had a great finale to this race, because so far this race is like a 4 out of 10. This is like a 3, 4 out of 10. Bottas is out as well. So Alonso, Ricciardo and Bottas all DNF. Hamilton misses the pit lane. But I remember we got a great finale to this race. And this is also a good race, I think. I think I remember this being a great final few laps. Yeah, lap 42 of 50, cut 2, Leclerc versus Verstappen for the lead again. So they fought for the win in Bahrain. They go to Saudi Arabia and the wheel-to-wheel again for the win. Verstappen and Leclerc. At this point, I thought we're on for a great season. At this point, I thought we're on for a classic season here. Look at this. Leclerc comes the wheel-to-wheel on lap 43. Verstappen and Leclerc. What a fight this is. It's a great race. It's a great race. It's another 8 out of 10 this. Oh, this is another 8.5 out of 10. The first 2 races of the year were really good. Verstappen, and then they're playing that game of chess. Yeah, this was really good. This was really good race. Verstappen v Leclerc for the win was next level in Saudi Arabia. That 44 out of 50, and they're going across the line side by side. Lap 46, and Verstappen tries down the inside again, but they're playing a game of chicken because they want the DRS, so he doesn't want to pass him into the final corner. So it's a weird kind of scenario, and now Verstappen gets the DRS, goes round the outside on lap 47 out of 50 and takes the lead. So it took Verstappen 47 laps out of 50 to pass Leclerc. It's a good race, man. It's another 8. Oh, no. This is really good. This is really good. I might even give that a 9. No, it's not good enough to be a 9. It's another 8.5. No, a 9 out of 10. And then Norris and Ocon were fighting to the line as well. Right, it's a good race, that. Right, so it was Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz. Okay, that's Saudi Arabia. Right, what we're giving that? Waiting for Denver, just don't comment. Yeah, no worries, mate. Right, I'm going to give Saudi Arabia a 8.5 again. It's just not quite good enough for a 9. 9 out of 10 has got to be a special race, hasn't it? But is it an 8? Nah, it's a good race, man. We start the season off strong. 2 8.5s out of 10s to start the season. And then we go to Australia, which I don't think is an 8.5 out of 10. The season started really well. Let's see if it comes up with it. Race highlights, here we go. Right, well, that advert's playing. Right, so then we go to Australia. So we start off the season with 2 great races. We start off the season with 2 great races. But yeah, welcoming Keith. Matty's here, Kim's here. Right, Australia, here we go. Right, round 3. This can be all night, this. I love it. Right, let me just back it up. Back it up. Right, so it's Leclerc on pole, it looks like, in Australia, with the 2 Red Bulls behind him. Norris looks like he's in the top 3 or 4. You see, you forget these things. Okay, so it's Leclerc on pole again from Verstappen. So the top 2, at this point, it's looking like a great championship battle. It's Leclerc from Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, then the 2 McLarens. Okay. And Sainz is at the back, I remember. I can't remember why he was at the back. I remember Sainz being at the back, and then he makes a mistake, doesn't he, and spins off. He's in the gravel. I remember going absolutely mental when this was live. Yeah, because Sainz is 14th. Yeah. Schumacher passing Sainz for 14th is nuts. Yeah, so Sainz just really had to fight back. We've seen a replay of the start on board with Sergio Perez. I don't know how this has made the highlights cut, but it has. Oh, and Hamilton with the big dive down the inside. But yeah, well, welcome back to the YouTube scenes, if it really is you, Nave. The football way, it might be, Nave. Unless someone's on a raw black one. Right. And then Sainz spun and got beached in the gravel. Oh, he went side by side with Mick Schumacher into the... Oh, no. I tell you what, Sainz is lucky he didn't get collected there. Sainz is lucky... And Vettel missed the first 2 races, so this was Vettel's debut. This was Vettel's first race of the season, and he had a bit of a scruffy one, yeah, so he was in the gravel. So Sainz beached it and was out of the race on like lap 3. I bet all my damn coins that's not Nathan. Yeah, I'll give it 1,000 to 1. I'll give it 1,000 to 1, Matty. 1,000 to 1 shot. But you'd have got 1,000 to 1 on Saudi Arabia beating Argentina, so you just never know, innit? It actually is. How can you check? Because his channel's called The Football Way. I could make a channel called The Football Way and comment on here in 5 seconds flat, do you know what I mean? So, how'd you proved it, Brian? Right, lap 23. Okay, Hamilton v Perez. I seem to remember this. The safety car comes out, doesn't it? Because Vettel crashes. Give you a mod you can check. Type it into YouTube filters and do it as him. Is it really him? Hey Nathan, I've been trying to ring you for 9 months. You could have answered. Safety car come out on lap 24 then. Okay, so Vettel crashed, I remember. Right, so it was a nightmare for Sainz. And Vettel come out of turn 4, bang into the wall. Oh. Yeah, and Mick Schumacher almost crashed under the safety car. Okay. Oh, and it's Leclerc v Verstappen again. Lap 27 in Australia. And Leclerc and Verstappen go wheel to wheel into turn 1. Mate, the season had so much promise. I mean, I look like an Italian, but the season had So much promise. Leclerc and Verstappen battled it out wheel to wheel for the first 3 races in a row. Yeah, ring me, but I am live right now, Ryan. But yeah. If he rings me on Facebook and I speak to him, mate, it's undeniable proof. Lap 39, Verstappen out. Why has he not answered your questions? I ain't even given any questions. I'm trying to watch highlights of the season. Yeah, I feel like this stream's become about is it Nathan or not when it should be about the F1 2022 season review, but what are them ones? Right, so Verstappen DNF'd 2 out of the first 3 races. Who'd have thought at this point that Verstappen goes on to win 15 races and absolutely dominate the championship when he's not finished 2 out of the first 3 races? It was Leclerc by a big margin who led this championship after 3 races. I'll worry about whether it's Nathan or not another day, do you know what I mean? If it really is Nathan, then he'll come. Then we'll see him on other streams, innit? That's what I'm saying. I hope it is Nathan. I liked him. He did a couple of dodgy things. But I liked him. Leclerc won it. Right, that's not an 8.5 out of 10. What's Australia? It was Leclerc, Perez, Russell, the podium. Verstappen DNF. They briefly went wheel to wheel. It's like a 4 or 5 out of 10 that in it, Australia. Albon got a point in 10th. Right. What are we saying for Australia? I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 10, Australia. I mean, the Verstappen and Leclerc went wheel to wheel briefly. Other than that, there's not a hell of a lot to shout about. Was it completely awful? No. We got the drama with Sainz at the beginning. We got the Vettel crash, which is not really something to mark it up for. Bit of action with Hamilton, Perez. It's a 5 out of 10. Right, Imola. Right. Imola. Is round 4. Emilia Romagna, as it's properly known. So we'll line that up. Are you going to give me adverts? Of course you are. Right, so while doing that. But the crucial thing for me... The crucial thing for me is that the first 3 races, Verstappen and Leclerc went wheel to wheel. Right, here we go then. So this is Imola. This is round 4. It's damp. It's damp. And it's Red Bull 1-2 off the line then at the start. It's Verstappen from Perez and Norris 3rd. Okay, Norris and Leclerc. And then Sainz gets hit from Ricciardo in turn 2. And beaches it. So Sainz, coming off the back of beaching it in Australia, gets hit at turn 1 in Imola and has beached it again. Carlos Sainz with horrendous luck. So he's found himself beached in the gravel 2 races in a row. Carlos Sainz, absolute nightmare. Oh, Alonso had damage. That's right. His side pod was destroyed. Right, where I remember this being damp and Hamilton being held up behind Gasly for the entire race. Kim Uramod, click on his thing and it goes to his channel. Fuck knows. Leclerc passes Norris then on lap 8. This was the Norris podium, wasn't it? This was the... Why did Ryan say it was real then? Whoa, Russell passes Magnussen. Magnussen had a great start to the season. What's Magnussen doing battling for 5th in Imola? What's that about? Magnussen was battling for 5th in Bahrain and he's battling for 5th in Imola. What? Has started the season off with some kind of pace. It's crazy. It's nuts time. The top 6 on lap 12 was Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Norris, Russell, Magnussen. What was Kevin doing for the first 4 races? He was on steroids, mate. Away to his channel. I've gone on the account. Oh, listen. This video's just become Is It Nathan or Not? I should just change the title to Is It Nathan or Not? So at this point, so at lap 19, it was a Red Bull 1-2. So Leclerc wasn't really in the fight this time. So Leclerc's up to this point had won 2 out of the first 3, had a mighty lead in the championship, but it comes up round 4 and Red Bull are staring at a 1-2. I'm trying to paint a story as we go along. You know what I mean? Yeah, so on lap 20, it's still a Red Bull 1-2. Verstappen, Perez. Leclerc 3rd. Unsafe release from Mercedes. Whoa. The small details you forget in races. But I know Leclerc had a bit of a nightmare on this one. So Tsunoda on a charge. Tsunoda P8. This is lap 48 of 63. And Tsunoda passes Magnussen for 8th. I mean, Tsunoda had a pretty dire season, to be honest, but this must have been his race of the season. And then bang, lap 53 of 63, and Leclerc's in the wall. Leclerc hits that sausage curb too hard, spins the car around. Luckily, he's able to keep going. Okay, I remember that. That was massive drama, that. When Leclerc hit the wall in Imola on lap 53, that was massive drama. He just takes too much curb and he just flings the car around. Bang, he's in the wall. He's very lucky to get away with that and was able to carry on. Wow. Wow, Leclerc lucky to be able to continue. Tsunoda passes Vettel for 6th. Yuki Tsunoda was on a rampage. I'd totally forgotten about all this. And then so Leclerc put it in the wall, pitted. I don't know if they put a new front wing on it or not. And then he was on a bit of recovery drive from like 10th. I think he ended up 6th. It's quite a good race, isn't it? It's quite a good race. Better than Australia, this. It's a 6. It's a 6 out of 10, this race, isn't it? Yeah, Verstappen with a massive lead. On the last lap, Verstappen's 15-second lead over Perez. Norris P3. Yeah, Verstappen dominated it. So Max absolutely ran away with it. So it's a Red Bull 1-2, Norris on the podium, which is to be the only podium from a driver outside the top 3 teams all season. But was the race spectacular? No. I'll pause that there. What we're giving Imola out of 10? I'll give Imola a 6. I'll give Imola a 6 out of 10 because we did get the drama with Leclerc, with the Leclerc spin. We did get the Sonoda charge. We got Magnussen up there. We got the Norris podium as well. I'll give it a 6. Maybe I'm being a bit generous. I think it's all about that Leclerc drama. The Leclerc drama makes that a 6. Right, what's next? Miami. Miami was round 5 in the championship. Race highlights. Don't mind if I do. Thank you very much. Are you going to give me an advert? Of course you are. Right, so Miami, round 5. So what have we had so far? We've had Leclerc winning 2 out of the first 3, and then Red Bull fighting back strong in round 4. Verstappen dominating the race. Leclerc with a mistake. So they go into round 5, and it's a Ferrari front row. Look at this. So this is the start in Miami. This is round 5 of 22. And it's Leclerc, Sainz, and Verstappen go wheel to wheel in turn 1, and Verstappen already passes Sainz. So it's already Leclerc and Verstappen 1-2 by the time they get around the first corner. So Verstappen already passes Sainz. Okay. So that Ferrari 1-2 lasted about 10 seconds. Oh yeah, Mercedes had this special weird livery, Miami special livery. It was the first ever Miami Grand Prix as well. Round 5, so it was new to everybody. The circuit went around the Miami Dolphins stadium. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if Miami Dolphins, I don't even know what sport that is, but hey ho. Lap 3. So it was Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez top 4. And we're looking at Hamilton versus Alonso for 7th. This is when porpoising was a massive issue as well. Early on in the season, porpoising was massive. A massive problem. But Hamilton was easily past Alonso for 7th. Lap 8 then. Oh, lap 8 and Verstappen's all over the back of Leclerc then. So this is when Red Bull really started to assert the dominance. Round 4, Verstappen dominated it. Round 5, Verstappen hunted Leclerc down and passed him within 9 laps. American football, yeah. The track went around that stadium. Whoa. Yeah, so this is when Verstappen sort of started to assert his dominance really, because he'd won in Imola by 15 seconds, and then there was that crash between Norris. So lap 41 out of 57, and there's a big crash between Norris and Gasly, and it was a daft one. They tripped over each other. It's not a great race, this, is it? Because they've skipped from like lap 3 to lap 41. Well, there's your sign. If in the highlights package it skips from lap 3 to lap 41, then you know what's happened in those 40 laps in between. Not a lot. Yeah, we're seeing a replay of this crash between Gasly and Norris. And it was a silly one. Gasly was with a broken car, crawling back to the pits, and Norris just hits him. And they just trip over each other. And it's caused millions of dollars worth of damage. It's crazy. So Norris was out of the race, obviously. The car wrecked. And then, so that brings out the safety car. And at the end of the safety car, it was Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez. And it's really the battle between Sainz and Perez for P3. Sainz on the inside, Perez on the outside. So it's the battle. This is all about the battle between Sainz and Perez for third. And then Bottas was up there in fifth. Alfa Romeo had a great start to the season, didn't they? Bottas is up there in fifth with the two Mercedes behind him. I forgot, you forget how well Alfa Romeo started the season. Mick Schumacher was ninth at this point. This is lap 47 of 57 in Miami. And Bottas is in the top 5. It's incredible. Okay, but now the Mercs are all over Bottas, and this is lap 49. And Russell and Hamilton side by side. So Russell and Hamilton were fighting over 6th. And Bottas makes a mistake. Lets both the Mercs through. So Bottas cracks under pressure, basically. Lets both Mercs through. And it's Sainz v Perez for P3. Oh, and I remember that. Perez going for the big lunge. It didn't work, but Perez went for the big lunge on Sainz. It didn't. Wow. It's way too aggressive. And Sainz gets the position right back. And then the two Mercedes battle at the end. On the last couple of laps, I do seem to remember this, actually. So Verstappen wins that one. So Verstappen's now won Imola and Miami easily. It's not a classic, is it? The 2022 Miami Grand Prix. It's middle of the road again. It's not horrendous. No, I give that a 4. No, I'll give that a 4 out of 10. That. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miami. Every time I lean forward, it plays havoc with the green screen. Horrific. Right, I'll give you Miami a 4. Is that harsh? Probably. But who's gonna? Right. Next up was Spain. Spain was good. Spain was good. Spain was the most views I got as well. Spain got me 3,500 views on the channel, which was the biggest race that I ever had. And for it to be the 6th race as well, when I did the Spanish Grand Prix stream and I had like 120 odd people in the chat, and it got 3,500 views, I thought, do you know what? This channel's going somewhere. I thought, do you know what? It's rock and roll. I thought, this is it. It's takeoff time. As it happened, it was an anomaly. It was a one-off. And it was one of 2 or 3 races that actually got good views. And the rest of them just a couple of, the usual, just a couple of developer squad. But this was one of the races where it wasn't just the developer squad. It was actually, I actually got decent views on this. But that aside, it was actually a good race, Spain. This is definitely more than a 4 and 5 out of 10. I think this might even be better than the opening 2 races of the season, Spain. So let me just pause that a minute. We'll go on to this. So yeah, Australia, Imola and Miami weren't fantastic. I give it a 5, a 6 and a 4. But then, boom, Spain happens. It's takeoff for the channel, or what I thought was takeoff for the channel. And it was takeoff for Formula 1 because this was a good race. Excluding Miami, there are 6 countries not in the World Cup. I know, it's like a World Cup list. Right, let's have a look at the highlights of round 6. Spain. Yeah, this was a good one. So it's Leclerc from Verstappen again, straight away. On Russell and Perez make contact in turn 1. Hamilton side by side with Sainz for 5th. But it's Leclerc at the front from Verstappen, then Russell. Oh, and Hamilton and Magnussen contact in turn 4. I remember Hamilton with the puncture. Oh, it was big drama at the start, wasn't it? It was big drama at the start. It was Hamilton v Verstappen. It was Leclerc v Verstappen at the front. Leclerc with the advantage. Then it was Russell, Perez. Oh, and Perez and Sainz make contact. Hamilton and Magnussen with the big contact in turn 4. Puts Magnussen... Again, what's Magnussen doing in the top 7? Haas were quick. In the first few races. Magnussen's trying to go round the outside of Lewis Hamilton. For like P5. Like... Haas were rapid. Cut to lap 7 and Sainz is in the gravel again. I remember absolutely slating him. I remember being like, Carlos Sainz in the gravel again for the 3rd time in 3 races. And he just makes a mistake, loses the back end, bang, he's in the gravel, lap 8. Carlos Sainz, I mean, he did make a few mistakes early on in the season. He was out of the championship before it even got going. And Verstappen did exactly the same thing. It was chaos, this. Verstappen was in the gravel on lap 9. In the same place. Apologies if I was slurring a little bit. I've got a massive ulcer on my tongue and it's like... Mate. Verstappen just turns into turn 4 and the rear end just goes. It's crazy. So then it becomes Leclerc from Russell. Right, I know, I remember this. So then it becomes, right, because Verstappen spun, it becomes Leclerc leading from Russell. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And now we get Verstappen v Russell on lap 24. Oh, but George hangs it out. And George battles Verstappen. We get a great battle between Russell and Verstappen there in Spain. We got a great battle. And Russell held on and fought Verstappen off. And keeps his P2. It's Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen on lap 27. It was a good race, this. This was a good one. And then Leclerc with the engine failure. Leclerc was leading the race on lap 27. Engine gives up. Mate. He's leading the race. And his engine gives up on him. And now... it becomes Russell v Verstappen for the win. This was a good one. This was no Miami. This was no Imola. This was a good one. Lap 31. And it's Perez v Russell for the lead. And Perez goes round the outside of Russell on lap 31. I tell you what, mate. This was where George Russell sort of announced himself, really. He could have won this race, George Russell. And given the start that Mercedes had had to the season, for George Russell to be fighting for the win in Spain was mad. Lap 36. And Russell pits. Hey, I fair play to George on that one. He gave it a good fight. So unlucky with Leclerc with the DNF. lap 47, and Perez is told to move out of the way for Max. And Perez not happy with it. But Perez does let him through. Lap 49 is 66, and Verstappen takes the lead despite spinning off on lap 9. And says thank you. And Hamilton from the back, after getting a puncture on lap 1, is now fighting Sainz for 4th. Goes round the outside of Bottas. Verstappen leading Perez in 20 seconds as Hamilton goes round the outside of Sainz for P4. Oh, and then Russell's on a fuel saving mode at the end. Russell had a good go at winning in Spain though. And Sainz rapid gets the position back from Hamilton. So it ends up Verstappen by 15 seconds over Perez. Russell 3rd, Sainz 4th, Hamilton 5th, Bottas P6. What am I giving now a 10? The Russell v Verstappen was really good. It's either a 7.5 or an 8, that. It's either a 7.5 or an 8, that. Spain. It was actually a real... And Spain isn't usually a great race. But in 2022, it kind of was. What am I giving Spain out of 10? I'm going to give Spain an 8. It was good. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, so after 3 dodgy races, Australia 5, Imola 6, Miami 4, Spain is an 8 out of 10. Russell fights for the win. The drama of the Leclerc DNF, the Verstappen spinning into the gravel, Sainz spinning into the gravel. It's a good race. It's a dramatic one. And then we go to Monaco, which I remember being delayed by so much. Yes, Will, welcome to the stream, mate. Right, so now we go to Monaco, which I remember being delayed by like an hour or something. Let's whack the highlights of that on. Monaco, are you gonna give me an advert? Yeah, right. So we move to round, is this round 7 then? Round 7. Yeah, mate. Yeah, Will. I'm just going through the highlights of each race. I'm just watching the highlights of each race and giving them a mark out of 10. We're already a third of the way through it in an hour, so get in. It's going to be all night, Will. So welcome in, mate. But yeah, first 2 races were really good. 8.5s out of 10 I've given. Right. Right, Monaco, so it's wet. I remember this absolutely pouring with rain. They do a lap behind the safety car and then I think they red flag it. It's absolutely torrential. Bahrain was a great race, yeah, man. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia were really good. And I just watched Spain, and that was good as well. George Russell and Max Verstappen fighting for the win. That was a good race as well. So this is highlights of Monaco. And yeah, they do a lap behind the safety car. Then it's red flag for an hour. Then they start again behind the safety car. And Stroll and Latifi are in the wall behind the safety car. Gasly nearly crashing. Monaco did, yeah. It was Schumacher, yeah. He had a massive crash. I don't know if that was in the race or quali. I think it was in the race, wasn't it? Yeah. Gasly overtakes Zhou. Lap 14 is 77. So they're all on the wet tyres. And it was a Ferrari 1-2 at this point. On lap 14, it was Leclerc from Sainz, Perez, Verstappen. Okay. Lap 17. Okay, lap 17 and Perez is in for the Inters. So the track's drying out. Yeah, this rings a bell. And Hamilton and Ocon make contact in turn 1. Okay, then Leclerc comes in on lap 19 for the Inters, but it's... Oh, yeah, Perez. Perez on the better tyre strategy, wasn't it? And Ferrari messed it up. And I tell you what, they put Leclerc on... They put Sainz on slicks. I tell you what, the intermediates didn't last long, did they? They soon went from wets to slicks. And they're having an absolute nightmare on team radio, our Ferrari. Leclerc shouting at the team, the team shouting at Leclerc. Perez is in again for dries. I tell you what, they were on wets for the first 18, 20 laps. Then they were on inters for like 2 laps. Then bang, they're all in again for slicks. It's just mayhem. But because Red Bull were quick to react to it, Perez got the better of the strategy. No, not the whole race, Will Rally. They're just highlight videos. Just the highlight videos that are about 7 minutes each. Not the whole race. Jesus, I'll be here for a month. Yeah, so it's about pit stop strategy and then the massive crash, like you said, Will. That massive Mick Schumacher crash at the swimming pool chicane and into the wall, and it just smashes. The car splits in half, yeah. Horrendous incident. So safety car again. And after the safety car then, it's Perez. So halfway through the race, it's Perez, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc. Yeah, literally, we'll be here like 24 hours. More than that. Like 48 hours, wasn't it? To watch every race back to back. What's 90 minutes times 22? Kim, if you're still here, ban that account. Or anyone who's got a spanner. If they've all gone, I might have to ban it myself. Right, I see what this race was. It was the top 4, wasn't it? Nose to tail for the last half of it. I remember now. And Zhou Guan Yu with a massive lunge on Tsunoda. I know you can't, innit? Cheers, Kim. I remember Monaco now. It was the top 4, but they couldn't overtake each other. It's Monaco, innit? It's Monaco. Yeah, the top 4 were nose to tail. Perez, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, in that order. Yeah. And it was a timed race in the end. They couldn't get all the laps done, could they? Because of the rain delay and all that. But no one... But no one went for the big lunge, though, did they? I mean, I've got to give it some marks. I've got to give it some marks because it was a nail biter. It was a nail biter. And Perez wins it. Feel good for Schumacher getting rid. So do I, Will. I'm gutted, mate. To replace him with a 36-year-old who's already had his career is the most uninspiring move of driver transfer I've ever seen, to be fair. You ditch a 23-year-old with his entire career in front of him for someone that's already done his career. Mate. Right. So Perez won in Monaco from Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc. I mean, it's Monaco, isn't it? You're never going to get much overtaken at Monaco. What are we giving Monaco out of 10? I might go for middle of the road 5. Because we've seen worse Monaco Grand Prix, but it certainly wasn't anything to write home about, was it? I'll go straight up middle of the road for Monaco. Right. What's next? Baku. I even remember what happened in Baku. Easily forgotten. If you're here, Chris, as well, you know, you're free to ban the trolls, do lad. Right. Let's line up Azerbaijan. Let's line him up, lad. Right, now watching Azerbaijan. So far, we've had Bahrain and Saudi Arabia good, and then Australia, Imola, Miami, not so good. Spain was a great race. Monaco, meh. Now we go to Baku then. Round 8. Round 8 of 22. Azerbaijan. Oh, Perez leads into turn 1 from Leclerc. At this point, Perez was in the championship fight. I remember he'd come off the back of his Monaco win, and he leads into turn 1 in Azerbaijan. This was Perez's strongest part of the season. Definitely. At this point, Perez is in the World Championship fight. So, it's on lap 9, it's Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen, Russell, and Sainz is out. Oh my God. Sainz's luck in the first third of the season was absolutely horrific. Sainz engine gives up on him. This is crazy. So Sainz has been in the gravel in Australia, in the gravel in Imola, spun off in Spain, and conked out in Azerbaijan. Ridiculous luck from Carlos Sainz. And then a slow pit stop from... This was the Ferrari malfunction, this was. A slow pit stop from Leclerc. It's now a Red Bull 1-2 on lap 10. By lap 10, it's a Red Bull 1-2. So Ferrari just shooting himself in the foot. Why is Austria... No, it's not Austria crossed out. It's Russia crossed out, Will, for the fact that it got cancelled because they started a war. So, rightly so, it got absolutely slung off the calendar. Yeah, no, Russia got deleted, didn't it? It got the full delete. Lap 14 and the Red Bulls go wheel to wheel then. This is shades of 2018, this. Verstappen down the inside and Perez lets him go. So by lap 15, Verstappen's in the lead. No one gave him much of a fight, did they? No one gave him much of a fight. You know, Leclerc gave him a fight for the first 3 races, and then from there on in, Max was either let through or, even though he wasn't getting pole position, by the time you get to quarter of the race through, Verstappen's in the lead. You know, lap 19, and it's Verstappen and Leclerc's still in the fight at this point. Lap 20, bang, Leclerc with the engine failure. Right. So Leclerc with the engine failure in Spain and Azerbaijan. Horrific. And it's a double DNF for Ferrari as well. Horrendous reliability from Ferrari. It's just ridiculous how bad Ferrari messed this up. It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable how bad Ferrari messed the first third of this season up. Ferrari got worse this season, but yeah, Mercedes got better. It's just crazy, man. So then they give the Red Bull the easy 1-2. Both Ferraris out of the race by mid-race distance. Both Ferraris are out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And they're just giving Red Bull easy points. Easy championship lead. Hamilton passes Ricciardo for 5th on lap 26. It's not a great race, this. Oh, remember that. Yuki Tsunoda's rear wing. Yuki Tsunoda's rear DRS snaps in half. That was a weird one. Then they gaffer tape it off. It's crazy. Perez is fine. I like him. Yeah, man. Yeah, Perez is all right. Max is just a ruthless winner, you know. A lot of the champions are just ruthless. You got to remember, Vettel in his championship winning days was absolutely ruthless as well. You've got to have that side to you. You know, if you're going to win championships, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy. And you know, Max is just absolutely ruthless. And I sort of respect him for that, but he's not going to be loved around the world for that. But he's just a ruthless killer, isn't he? Latifi and Stroll are crap. Yeah, Latifi will probably get a street in IndyCar. Right, this is a forgetful race, this. So it ends up Verstappen winning by 21 seconds. Chris is going to follow Latifi to IndyCar, so he's not going to be on this channel anymore. Right, this is like a 3 out of 10 race, isn't it? And I tell you what, Azerbaijan was usually really good, but in 2022 it wasn't, was it? In 2020, I've already forgotten what happened. What happened? A double Ferrari DNF and nothing else happened. I'm sorry. This is even less than a 3, isn't it? Nothing happened, bro. Apart from the Ferrari. This is the worst race so far. I'm gonna give this a generous 3. Maybe. For the drama of the Leclerc, I'll give it a 3 for the pure fact, the drama of the Ferrari double DNF. Because I think drama in Formula One is part of the show. You know what I mean? Whether it's bad luck for somebody, it creates a bit of drama. So I'm going to give it a generous, and it is a generous 3 out of 10. And usually, that's the thing about Baku. Usually Baku's a great race. The first 2 or 3 races at Baku were absolute bangers. But yeah, no, but then we went to Canada. Canada's a good one. I already know what happened. It's almost as if I've watched this all before. Could you believe it? Yeah, that Jack Daniels starts kicking it. Right, no. Right, Canada now. Canada. This was better. 6.4 million views. I wish I had that on my channel. Right. Canada, let's line him up. You're going to give me an advert? Of course you are. Boom, now watching Canada. And this was a Fernando Alonso front row, wasn't it? Right, here we go. Good track. You're right. Let me just back it up to the beginning. Right. Alonso's on the front row. Mate, yeah, but we'll rally, right? The highlights package for Baku went from like lap 20 to then lap 50 on the highlights video. That says it all. Like, nothing's happened in those 30 laps. Do you know what I mean? So, it's a generous 3 for Baku. Canada's a good track. Yeah, favourite on the F1 game. Yeah, on the F1 game, I like Bahrain. Do you know what? On a weird one, I liked Russia on the game. It was like easy, wasn't it? No, on the game, I like Bahrain. Do you know I liked Hockenheim, but it's not on the calendar anymore. I was really good at Hockenheim. Canada's a good one, yeah. Austria, probably Austria actually on the game. Yeah, Austria's such a smooth and it's short. Probably Austria's my favourite on the game. Canada's up there. Monza, I like. Yeah, yeah, but I'll go Austria. Yeah, right, here we go. Second favourite, yeah, flowing. Yeah, man. Right, here we go. So this was round 9. Spain. Sorry, Spain, what am I about? Round 9, Canada. And it's Verstappen, Alonso, front row. Because it was a wet qualifying session. And I remember going absolutely nuts when Fernando got that front row start. But here we go then. Round 9. Look at the Haas. Let me just pause that a second. Both Haas's are in like the top 7 here. Haas were quick in the first half of the season. Like, that is so forgotten and it's so dead. Because in the second half of the season, Haas were like 17th and 19th every week for 12 races in a row. You forget, in Canada, Haas are both in the top 10 here at the start. It's unreal how much they dropped off. It's crazy. Have you watched any World Cup games? Yeah, nearly every game. Yeah, I love the World Cup, man. I love the World Cup more than club football, which is not the norm. But yeah, I love the international. I love it. Yeah, I love the World Cup. Lap 5. Gasly nearly hits one of the Aston Martins. Lap 8, Perez DNF. So by lap 8, it was Verstappen, Sainz, Alonso, top 3. Then the 2 Mercs and Ocon. Both Alpines were in the top 6. And Perez just, I don't know if it's a gearbox issue. Perez is out by lap 8 in Canada. But I've not seen much wheel-to-wheel action so far. Okay, so the virtual safety car caused by Perez's DNF causes a reaction of pit stops then. Okay, so Verstappen and Hamilton pit behind the virtual safety car on lap 10. And Merck looked quick here then. So Hamilton on the attack, trying to pass Ocon for P5. Alpine were quick in Canada, you know. Alpine must have got a bag of points in Canada. They're both in the top 5 on lap 12. Then Germany got beat. I know. Japan 2, Germany 1. That was mega, that wasn't it? That was mega. Lap 20 and Mick Schumacher's out. I remember being absolutely devastated by that as well because Mick had qualified like 7th or something. He was well in the points. He was like P8. And then the car gave up on him. So Mick Schumacher retires lap 20. Oh, mate, gutted. See, if he'd have scored those points, you don't realise it, but that was crucial for his career, really. Hamilton v Alonso for P3 then. So Mercedes at this point are starting to come good. Round 9 in Canada, And they'd had a flash in the pan in Spain with Russell fighting for the lead. But at this point, the third and fourth, halfway through the race, everyone thinks that comment. What's that? Surprised Latifi retired, yeah. I know. There have been a few shockers, Kim, yeah. There have been a few shockers. So lap 44, it was Sainz, Hamilton, Verstappen top three. No, but it's yet to pan out though. There, Hamilton held up Verstappen in the middle of the race. That's all he can do. He's not really in the fight with Max. It was Lewis. I mean, not a lot's happened here in this highlights package. Verstappen passes Hamilton for P2, but it's not really for position. Leclerc passes Ricciardo. Was Leclerc coming from the back? I feel like Leclerc must have been coming from the back in Canada. He must have had to take a new engine after the blow up in Azerbaijan. So Leclerc coming from the back. And Tsunoda crashes out on lap 49. Have you not met a Carlisle fan? No, I haven't. Wow. Tsunoda bins it and causes a safety car on lap 49. I remember this. Sainz and Verstappen were fighting for the win at the end, weren't they? Or was it Sainz and Perez? I remember this. It was Sainz on old tyres versus Verstappen. Sorry. It was Verstappen in the lead on older tyres versus Sainz in second on new tyres. And Sainz couldn't get past him. I remember now this. Lap 55 of 70 then. The safety car's in after the Tsunoda crash. And it was Sainz v Verstappen. And Sainz should have passed him and should have beat him. And Alonso's passed by Leclerc. So Alonso goes from the front row to about 8th or 9th, which is tragic. And Leclerc's recovery drive was pretty good then. Where does Leclerc end up in the end? I have now near UK and Cumbrian, obviously, Sheep's Hills, Forest Farms. I'm Manchester, me, if you didn't already know. Well, outside of Manchester. From Stockport, if you've ever heard of Stockport. We've got a hat museum. But I'm a United fan. You know, typical glory hunter type of vibe. Being brought up as a United fan, but yeah, Canada. Canada wasn't that good, was it? Canada wasn't that good, was it? No. I mean, I've already forgotten what happened. What happened there? I know we had a few laps at the end where this is why it wasn't a phenomenal season, was it really? Canada. What are we giving Canada out of 10? It's a 4 or 5 for me. Yeah, they're from Bury. They went bust, didn't they? Their team. Yeah, game over. Are they back in or what? What's happened to Bury? Are they just fully? Are they gone forever, or are they going to come back? Right, what are we giving Canada? what did it have? It had the Alonso front row, but then he got swamped. Leclerc coming from the back. We had the Verstappen v Sainz at the end. It's a 4. Or is it a 5? It's a 4. I'll give it a 4. You see, look at this. We've had 3 forgetful races in a row. There. Monaco 5. Azerbaijan a 3. Canada a 4. But then we get the British Grand Prix, don't we? Then we get the British Grand Prix. And this was a good one. There's no Berry. There's a new team, Berry FC. Oh God, we're starting from the very bottom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. But then we get British Grand Prix. Now this was a banger. This was also good for the channel. Like Spain, I got 3,500 views for this race. So this was the highlight of the channel this year. It got 9,000 views over the full weekend from practice qualifying the race. We got nearly 10,000 views on our channel for this one. So definitely the British Grand Prix was the highlight of the season for Motorsport Madman channel. But was also a great race for Formula 1 as well. Yeah, it was. It was pretty much. I think only Spain had more viewers than the British Grand Prix, and it's not by a lot. It both got like 3,500. And I thought at this point, I thought the channel was really gonna take off, but it turned out to be the anomaly. Turned out to be the spike in the chart, so to speak. This was the big highlight. So let's have a look at the British Grand Prix, and I remember this being a particularly good one. So let's have a look. Highlights. Oh wait, we've not changed the graphics. Let me move this down. Now watching UK. Sorry about the green screen. Wow, every time I lean forward it just decides nope. So I've got to permanently, I don't understand it. I don't understand. It's something to do with shadows. Yeah, so we now go UK. What we're going to give it out of 10, we'll find out. Let's have a look then. Highlights. It's weird. People over the world probably watch you. There's a couple. I mean to be fair, Will. What it is there's another YouTuber called Developer, and because I'm part of his community, basically my viewers, because they know me, from his community or from Jams's, so that's what started me out. It's football fans basically. It's like a group of football fans that have sort of known me from a football channel that have followed me over here. Will, but football's my second sport. You know what I mean? Formula 1 is my passion, as you've probably picked up over the year. But yeah, so that's what started the channel off. Now, hopefully, as the years go by, we pick up Formula 1 fans as well, and then we can really kick into gear. But big ups to everyone from Denver's and everything else that have started this channel off. So yeah, so Keith gives it an 8 straight off the bat. You might not be far off the mark there, Keith. Joking or not, it might be an 8, Keith. Right, let's look at the start then. Right, so this was Yeah, so this was the big Guan Yu Zhou moment, or Zhou Guan Yu moment, should I say. So Zhou Guan Yu was flipped upside down 100 odd mile an hour and got flung into the guardrail and was lucky to survive. He walked away injury-free, which is utterly miraculous, because this was the most spectacular crash of the year. And there was more than an hour delay after this incident. So the race started, he just gets pinched, he flips over and goes through the gravel upside down, then he's tumbling through the air. Horrendous incident at the start of the British Grand Prix, the worst of the season by a long shot. But he was fine. I mean, I don't know how the safety in Formula One is absolutely incredible because he was all right. Yeah, do F1 on your channel. Don't. Yeah, just F1, mate. There's enough people that do the footy. I can't bring a lot to that, but I can bring something to the F1 space. Because the other F1 channels, there isn't many like mine, where we give it the full commentary. There isn't many like that. There's people that have all the data and all the live GPS and all the thing, but are they giving it the full Murray Walker commentary? There ain't many channels doing that, I'll tell you that for free. And but I give it the full Murray Walker treatment. So, you know, no one's found me yet, but they will do. Anyway, let's just go back. So, the Zhou Guanyu crash, after that, they had to restart the whole thing, fix the barriers, so forth. And it was over an hour later. Awful crash it was, yeah. Zhou. Oh yeah, Zhou Guanyu. Yeah, massive crash. So then they restarted the race like an hour later. Yeah, Alfa Romeo, yeah. They restarted the race like an hour later. And then we got this. So it was Sainz Verstappen front row. Wow. And Sainz holds on then. So it was Sainz Verstappen Perez. And I tell you what, they go 4 wide into the loop, don't they? Mate, let me just pause it there. Oh, if I could share that screen, I would do. They go 4 wide into the loop. This is a good race. This contact between the Ferrari and Red Bull of Leclerc and Perez. And look at them. Yeah. Sainz trying round the outside. Oh my God. Martin Brundle's loving it as well. So it's Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez. And Perez with the damage. I don't remember any of this. Lap 6. Norris is P4. What's Norris doing in P4? Hamilton passes Norris easily then for P4. Sainz still leads. Lap 10. And Sainz goes off and makes a mistake at Magnussen Beckett's and lets Verstappen through easily. What goes wrong then for Max? So Max leads the British Grand Prix on lap 10. Okay, I'd forgotten. What happens to Max then? Right, but then Sainz gets him back down the Hangar Straight on lap 12. So Sainz retakes the lead from Verstappen on lap 12. Oh, Verstappen with a puncture. Oh. It's not a puncture. Verstappen ran over debris and has got damage on the floor to his car. So he's a bit slower. Sainz letting Leclerc through on lap 31. But then it's the last 10 laps of the British Grand Prix. It's nuts, isn't it? Ocon DNF on lap 39. Yeah, no. Not a rain delay. It was because of that crash. Because of the Zhou Guanyu crash. There was a delay for like an hour. Yeah, that was difficult to bridge that gap. It was Japan had a massive rain delay as well. Oh, this is it then, right. So let me just pause it a second. So I think the safety car comes out for Ocon breakdown on like lap 40. Then when the safety car, yeah, different one. I think Japan was horrendous for rain. Then when the safety car comes in, this kicked off big time. So at the moment it's Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Perez, top 4. And you've got Perez v Hamilton side by side. And the two Ferraris are side by side going into Luffield. On lap 43, this was good. Sainz overtakes Leclerc at Woodcote. And now it's Perez v Leclerc. Perez v Leclerc for P2, side by side into Stowe at 150 mile an hour. Yeah, this was a proper race. The last 7 laps of this race the last 10 laps were epic. And then through goes Hamilton. Through goes Hamilton. Hamilton overtakes Perez and Leclerc in one corner and goes up to P2. But then Perez gets him back again. Oh, mate, this is best race of the season so far, without a doubt. Look at him. 3 wide into Farm Corner. And Hamilton drops from 2nd to 4th in 5 seconds. And Fernando Alonso fancies a look as well in P5. The final 10 laps of this race makes it Alonso v Hamilton for P4. Alonso tried it round the outside of... Mate. Hamilton goes round the outside of Leclerc at Luffield for P3 on lap 48. Sainz, Perez, Hamilton. And Leclerc gets the position back round the outside of Copse. What a race. The final 10 laps of this race was fantastic. And then Hamilton repasses Leclerc going down into Stowe. Lap 48 and 52. Unbelievable. Carlos Sainz as well. It's his first ever win. That had everything. The British Grand Prix had everything. Sainz, Perez, Hamilton was the podium. And look at Mick Schumacher and Verstappen going side by side across the line for 7th. Mate, it's at least a 9. At least a 9, that. Right, what are we giving the British Grand Prix? That's at least a 9. It's better than Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, isn't it? It's 9. 9.5, says Nathan. Oh my god. Yes, Flabby G, mate. Is I can check myself. Is Thingy live? Is Jamza live? Is Jamza live, Flabby? On a beer road driller? I don't think he is he? Maybe he's going live in a bit, isn't he? I should have done this in 2 parts, but boy, what full send it. We're here till midnight. Bollocks. Right. I'll give the British Grand Prix a 9, I think. But it's pretty good though, isn't it? I mean, only for the fact that it was all in the last 10 laps. Watch Jamza. Do you actually watch Jamza? It was just a small world, isn't it? We're all connected. Yeah, I'm a big fan. No, yeah, he's a good lad. He's Jamza. Yeah, small world. Right. I give it 9. Best race so far. 8.5 to the first 2. 5, 6, 4, 8. 5, 3, 4. Yeah, British Grand Prix gets a 9 out of 10. It'd have got the 9.5 if there'd have been... It was all in the last 10 laps, wasn't it? So what happened from lap 10 to lap 42? Do you know what I mean? Not that much. So you can't be giving it like 9.5s. But those last 10 laps were epic. 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 Right. Yeah, he's funny. He is funny. His reactions, yeah, man. Apologies for the, you know what I mean? If I move my head, the background goes, don't like you. But we live on. Right, we're nearly halfway through this. Austria, let's go. This is the way to do it. This is a closure for the season as well. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I'll never watch anything from this season again. Do you know what I mean? It's not been great, has it? Although there's been good races, which is what this is proving. This stream is proving that although it's not been a classic season, there has been some great moments. Which you know, we're going through right now. So let me just hit pause on that a minute. Make sure we're on Austria there. Yep. So Austria is, where are we up to now? Like round 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Round 11, Austria. Check the Discord. Really got a phone out. Here we go, Dylan. Right, Austria, let's do it. Round 11 of 22. So this officially marks the halfway point in the season. And it's Verstappen from Leclerc, is it? Yeah. So it's Verstappen from Leclerc front row. Russell goes down the inside of Sainz into turn 1. Okay. And Sainz is pushed wide. Oh, there's orange smoke everywhere because it's Verstappen fans. Oh, and they're 3 wide into turn 3. Yeah, Verstappen from Leclerc. Verstappen, Leclerc, then Russell and Perez are fighting over P4. Oh, it's Russell down the inside of Perez, and I remember what happens. And spins him off. And Russell punts Perez off into the gravel. Yeah. Russell gets the penalty. Martin Brundle's voice is all over the place. Haas again. And again. Haas are both in the top 6 here in Austria. They fell off so bad. Leclerc down the inside on Leclerc on the full send on Max Verstappen down the inside into turn 4. How have I forgotten this? Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. This is where Ferrari were quick, weren't they? Oh, this is good, this. Leclerc took the fight to him. Look at Hamilton stuck behind both Hasses. Magnussen and Schumacher were 4th and 5th on lap 15. I think it was Vettel got better and better. Gutted. I know. He did get better and better, didn't he, Will? He did, man. I think he's still got more to give. He's retired too early. But look at this in Austria. It's Hamilton versus Haas. For like P4. Both Hasses are in the top 6. On lap 18. It's nuts. Okay, so Verstappen must have stopped early. And then he's coming fighting back through the pack again. Verstappen v Hamilton for P3. At this point, it's a Ferrari 1-2. Lap 18, it's a Ferrari 1-2. In Austria. This is like the Ferrari fight back. You know what I mean? It's been all Verstappen from round 4 to this race. Russell did very well this season, yeah. Russell did good this season because his car was, first half was crap. Bouncing everywhere. Yeah, honestly. Russell's done really, really well this season. And look at the battles in the midfield as well. In Austria, the 3 wide into turn 4 on lap 24. This is a great race. This is a great race. You've got Magnussen, Norris, Alonso, Schumacher and Zhou all scrapping for 6th. It's a good race, it's Austria. Lap 27. Leclerc pits. I know they say Leclerc, but I'm not on board with the Leclerc thing. It's Leclerc for me. Charles Leclerc. I'm not about that. I'm Charles Leclerc, mate. Charles Leclerc. I think his middle name is Percival. Charles Percival Leclerc. Ooh. Posh. P-O-S-H, posh. I bet no one knows that song out of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. With the capital P-O-S-H, posh. Charles Percival Leclerc. He was Imola. Yeah. Oh, I think it was Baku. Baku, his back was hurt. You know. Complete disaster. God, how French is that? I know. Extremely French. Extremely French. But here's Monegasque. Will, here's Monegasque. Charles Percival Leclerc. It's something like that. I'll look it up, but it's something like that. Yeah. Right, lap 37 of 71. And we'll be doing a right there, my lad. What? Vettel just spun out of his own accord on lap 40. I don't remember this. Oh no, he got punted off. Vettel punted off on lap 40 with one of the AlphaTauris, Pierre Gasly. Oh yeah, Gasly's got to give him the corner. Yeah, Gasly punts off Vettel on lap 40. Naughty one, Pierre. And look at Leclerc. Leclerc versus Verstappen was back on in Austria. It was back on, and Leclerc does Verstappen not once but twice in this race. You've got to give this some marks. Oh, Sainz with the engine blow up as well. This is quite a dramatic race. Sainz with the engine blow up. Sainz had horrendous luck, didn't he, in the first half of the season? Horrendous. And look at his car on fire. He had to jump out of it. Wow. Sainz with 4 mechanical failures in the first 11 races of the season. I mean, you can't win a championship on that form. Right. Leclerc wins from Verstappen. It was close as well by a second and a half. It's a good race. I think it's Mercedes 3 and 4 as well. But Leclerc wins it from Verstappen. And it was one of the very few races where Ferrari were genuinely quicker. Yeah. Ocon was 5th. I mean, that's a good quiz question, isn't it? He was 5th in Austria. But Ocon, mate. Unbelievable. Right. What am I giving Austria out of 10? I'm thinking somewhere around the 7. I think I go with my instinct. And I'm going to give it a 7, I think. Maybe it's even a 7.5, you know, Austria. Because of we got the first 2 races we had Leclerc versus Verstappen, and then it kind of went off the boil. The Austria, we got it again. 7's fair. 7's fair. I'm giving it 7. Why is it like that? 7's fair. I cannot remember that race. We've just gone through it. Will. Were you not listening? Were you not listening? You get a test on this at the end. If you're not, you know what I mean? So if you're not listening, you get caught out, mate. I'm doing a test. I've just watched it back, Will. I was trying to describe it. Verstappen is the man. Yeah, he proved it, didn't he? He proved it this year, Tony. He did. Right, we're going to move this graphic down to here because now we're going to watch France. Well, the highlights of France. And what happened in France? I don't remember. Let's find out. Wait. Yeah. France. I'll be buggered if I know. Right, let's have a look what happened in France. Oh, Leclerc put it in the wall, didn't he, in France? Can't picture it. Mate, Leclerc had to overtake Verstappen twice to win the race. He's the best driver in F1. Yeah, he is. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, you ain't. No one's beating Max at the moment. I'm worried, Tony, that we're in the Max Verstappen era. That's what I'm worried about. I'm genuinely worried. I'm genuinely worried that Max now just wins virtually every weekend for the next 5-7 years in a row. And, you know, that'd be a bit of a dead thing. But remember him in the rain? Yeah. Yeah, he was good, man. But exactly, Tony. That I'm a bit worried about that. Because we want some competition, don't we? I want Lewis to come back strong next year and give it and fight again. You know what I mean? Head to head. I need Ferrari to be better management wise and strategy wise, and they can take him on head to head. Because if they don't, mate, we're looking at a Max Verstappen era, which, you know what I mean, like City in Premier League. I know it's too good, isn't it? Right, let's see where we go. Right, let's see what happened in France. Have I moved the graphics? Right, let's go. France. So it looks like it was Leclerc on pole again. This was when Ferrari was strong, you know. They come off the back of a win in Austria. They're on pole in France. This was when Ferrari should have... This should have been the Ferrari fight back. So it's Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton into turn 1 in France then. That's the order of it. And we've got an Alpine up there. Alonso's 4th. I tell you what, Fernando Alonso had a good year. He might be 40 years of age, 41 years of age. But Fernando Alonso still got it. You know, my old motto, still got it, never lose it. Rings true with Fernando Alonso. Max will be champ next couple of seasons. That's the Red Bull. I know. And the Red Bull's not going to be crap in it, is it? Because the rules are virtually a continuation. I don't know any changes in the aerodynamic rules from last season to next season. Do you? The cars are going to be virtually exactly the same. So it's up to Mercedes and Ferrari to catch up. And they are catching up, but by how much? Wow. We got Leclerc versus Verstappen then lap 6. Oh, yeah. So it was, again, Leclerc versus Verstappen. Leclerc holding off Max in France in the early stages. Okay, Max pits on lap 17. Oh, it's amazing. My age, wow, yeah. Always top 10 most of the time, outstanding. Yeah, mate. And he's going to Aston Martin. How's he going to do Aston Martin? No, he's still got it, Alonso, hasn't he? Oh, and a Leclerc in the wall on lap 18. This should have been back-to-back race victories for Charles Leclerc. He should have won in Austria and followed it up with a win in France and said, we're still in the championship. This should have been a statement win for Ferrari and Leclerc. And he should have said, he should have won in France and said, right, Max, we're still in this fight. But instead, he's put it in the wall on lap 18. And so they're giving it easy dub to Max. When they've got the quicker car, they're just giving it easy dub. It's painful to watch how Ferrari messed up this first half of the season. It is painful to watch. Whether it's through DNF, driver error, whether it's through mechanical failure, driver error, or strategy error, Ferrari have absolutely... It's just been horrendous. Stroll Alonso for Aston, I know. Watch Alonso win Stroll most... Yeah, well, he'll beat in most races, yeah. He should do. I'd be worried if Stroll beats Alonso. I'd be thinking, hang on a minute, everything I know is a lie. Sainz passes Alonso on lap 22 then. So, after Leclerc puts it in the wall, they're just giving an easy win to Verstappen. Hamilton second, Perez third. Lap 41 then. And it's Perez v Sainz for third. Yeah, so that 41.53, Verstappen leads Hamilton by 8.5 seconds. And it's Perez v Sainz for third is the big fight. I don't remember how good this fight was. It's a great fight, but... And they're telling him to pit as well. It's for Ferrari disaster class. Sainz is fighting Perez for third, and they're telling Sainz to pit on the team radio. It's crazy. Sainz did well in cars that race. Yeah. Oh, and then the big strategy error from Ferrari as well. So they've got one car that's in the wall, and the other car, and they pit Sainz with 10 laps to go, and puts in P9. This is ridiculous. This is why Mattia Binotto out. Ferrari team boss out. Gotta be. Bring back Maurizio Arriva-Bene. Ferrari were in absolute shambles. They give Verstappen an easy win. And George Russell... George Russell with the cheeky overtake on Sergio Perez under virtual safety car as well. I remember that. But it's not a great race, is it, this? It's not. I mean... Yeah, he's gone, Nathan. He's gone, Nath. Yeah, unfortunately. Are you going to come back on Demcast with us and all that, Nath? Oh, Jams is live. I'm going to join him in like an hour and a half when I get through this. I'm sure he'll still be going in an hour. Oh, and the two Aston Martins, right. So it's Verstappen from Hamilton, Russell, Perez, Sainz. And the two Aston Martins nearly crash. Yeah, no worries. He's not on tonight. Friday night, Nath. Yeah, Friday night, Nath. I hope you're doing well, mate. We've been worried about you. You've not been forgotten, Nathan. We've been asking about you and seeing if we can, if it really is you, Nathan, then we have not forgotten about you, and it'd be great to have you back. Right, that's France. What we're giving France out of 10? It's not a great race, is it, France? It's not a great race, France. Is it a 3, a 4? Did you do Abu Dhabi last week? Oh, I did every race this season, but I only started the channel this season, so I didn't do Abu Dhabi last year, which would have been an absolute banger. I would have actually got a couple of views. But I did every single race this season. And as we're finding out, it wasn't the best season in the world, so the channel's still on a minuscule mode at the moment. But hopefully next season it's a good year, and YouTube actually decide to put me on the list with the other F1 channels, and we could actually get a few F1 fans in here, and we could start to grow. But yeah, I did watch-alongs on pretty much every practice session, qualifying session, and race of this season just gone. But yeah, France. Is it a 3? Is it a 3? What's just happened? I've gone through the highlights there. Leclerc in the wall, lap 18. It's a 3, isn't it? It's a 3 at best. Well, Abu Dhabi 21. Abu Dhabi 2021 was unbelievable. Yeah, I wasn't doing the channel then. I give it a 3. I've already forgotten what happened. Do you know what I mean? I've already forgotten what happened. So that says it all, doesn't it? Right, back in a sec. Half time, guys. Half time. Have we got any music on? Wait there. Right, half time. Back in a sec. Ooh, big trans. Right. Well, that might have been horribly loud. Apologies for that. Right, let's kick on. Let's get it done before 1 a.m. or something. Right, let's do it. What's next? Hungary. What happened in the Hungarian Grand Prix? I think Leclerc was on. I think Russell was on pole, wasn't he? Hungarian Grand Prix 2022. Yeah, race highlights, 7 million views. I wish I got that on my channel. Right, let's have a look at this. 7 million views. Something must have happened, bruv. Okay. Right, let me just pause at a sec. Let me put the... Right, so we're now watching... in fact, let me trim it down because... That's that. Right, Hungary 2022. Let's have a look. Hang on. Forgot about Hungary. It's probably the favourite track to drive in F1 game. Oh, it's tricky that if you're on a pad, that absolutely wrecks your hand. Yeah, Hungary, because it's just corner. Twisty short track. Yeah, I remember Webber went off there one year straight into the barriers, knackered his car, wheels up and everything. What year was that? I don't remember that. Russell and Leclerc. Yeah, good race. Yeah, it was a good race, wasn't it? Right, let's have a look. Lagging. Oh, apologies, Kim. Apologies. Apologies. Nothing much I can do. So it's Russell v Leclerc into turn 1. So it's Russell ahead of the two Ferraris. Oh, this is the one where Verstappen comes from about 14th in it and wins. Mate. Russell ahead of Leclerc and Sainz. And then Norris is 4th. And then it's Hamilton and then the two Alpines. Yeah, and a Red Bull when Vettel teammate. Yeah, he took like 2010, 11, 12 or something. I don't remember that. Lap 7. Whoa. So Verstappen was on a recovery drive from 14th. I don't know what happened to him in quali. I forget what happened to him in quali, but Verstappen came from 14th, didn't he? Yeah, so he's round the outside of Ocon. By the time we get to lap 7, he's up to P6. Okay. I call the races are far better than the other streamers. Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you, Flabby. Listen, let me just pause it a sec. Yeah, listen, Flabby. We live and learn. I'm always having troubles with the green screen and stuff. The microphone can be a lot better because when the race starts and I'm giving it the full beans, the microphone gets overwhelmed with that because it's just a cheap mic. So the microphone gets overwhelmed when I'm giving it the full Leclerc versus Verstappen around the outside. The mic can't handle that. So I've got to improve the audio. I've got to sort out why this is always flickering like mad. I've got to sort out the lighting basically. Maybe a better camera. I know I've got to up the game. Better thumbnails as well. The thumbnails is the picture that comes with the, like every video on YouTube has a title and a picture. I've got to improve the pictures to make it look like more clickable, to make it stand out more. So there's certain things I've got to improve. But on a commentary basis, when I look at the other channels, the channels that bring in thousands of views and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views, and I look at them and how they commentate on the race, I think I can bring something. I think I can offer something to that side of it. Whilst they might have the live GPS and everything running, whilst they might have the better graphics, have they got as much passion as I've got about Formula One? Your answer's no. So on that basis, we might stand a chance. So I'll give it another season, and if I'm still not noticed, or if nobody's watching in another 12 months, I probably will call it a day and say, listen, I give it 2 years, and it's still just people that know me from Denver's crew watching me. If after 2 years it's still a handful of people watching that know me from a football stream, then I've got to say, listen, I'll give it a go. But for whatever reason, it's not happening. But I will give it one more season, and hopefully during some point next season, hopefully there's a point where we light a match and things suddenly start taking off and we start getting a few Formula One fans in, and hopefully I'm sat here in 12 months going, listen, we've set off. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully in 12 months I'm sat here going, we've set off. Now we've got a Formula One community. It would be just a small Formula One community, but now we've got a community. Here we go. If I'm still sat here and it's as it is now, in another 12 months, then I say, listen, I give it a go, but people are interested, and it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. But yeah, anyway, that's how I'm going to go, Flabby. I'm going to improve things. I'm going to give it a good shot next season, and hopefully YouTube notice me and start putting me on the list, because I don't think they've been putting me on the list with other F1 live, with other F1 watch-alongs and stuff. I don't even think I'm on the list. So hopefully I get noticed in some regard, and hopefully we have a moment where, I don't know, someone retweets a tweet that I do and it goes big, or all of a sudden it catches on, and then we're off, But at the moment, we're still in the starting blocks, and it's quite a tough pill to swallow when I've been doing it a full year and we're still in the starting blocks. It's difficult, But I'll do one more season and see if we can, you know, see. But if people aren't interested, they aren't interested. I can't just kick a dead horse down the road for years and years and years. If no one's interested, no one's interested in it. But I'll give it one more year. Right. Anyway. Well, this is it, Will. The thing is, how long's that going to take? How long is it going to take to get 1,000? Do you know what I mean? Because there's two categories in YouTube, right? There's two... The thing, what it is, right? There's two categories in YouTube. There's the channels that just go for years and they never really gain any subscribers. And it's just a few mates and you're just chilling. And you're never going to make any money out of it. You're never going to make anything from it. It's just to chill out with your mates, and it never goes anywhere. And you could be doing it 10 years, and I'd probably be on 500 subs or something. You know what I mean? It's just mates. There's those channels, and then in the other category, there's channels that take off, and that they really grow. And then after a while, it's like, oh, you could make some out of this. So I'm just worried about being in that first category of a channel that's just a few mates and it ain't never going to go anywhere. So don't even try and force it to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? I'm worried about being in that first category of it's just a few mates chilling. Why are you trying to do something with it? So I want to be in that second category of this is something that can actually go somewhere and be something and come back in 5 years and it's something big. So I'm trying not to be in that first category, but at the moment it's looking like we are in that first category of just a channel that's just a few mates chilling. But I'll give it one more year. But anyway, we better get on with this, else we'll still be here next year at this rate. We'll still be here next year at this rate. Right, Hungary. We're on lap 12 at the Hungarian Grand Prix. We want to. Yeah, we want category 2, innit, Kim? You never know. The boring. I know, man. The boring, man. Innit? But listen, the boring, but they get 750,000 views on a race. And I'm sat there on 56 views going, what more can I do? Do you know what I mean? 750,000 views. And like all he said is like, hello, welcome to the stream. Perez, third. Verstappen, fifth. 750,000 views. I'm sat here going, and it's Verstappen round the outside. An incredible race here at Montreal. 50 views. Mate, I'll tell you now, that's a difficult pill to swallow. Right, anyway. Right, anyway. Enough of the sob story. Let's go back to lap 12 in Hungary. The lightning might never bother me. I know, but some people, though, innit? Cheers, Will. One of them, we fight on, innit? We fight on. One day YouTube will put me top of the list and then everyone will find me and then they'll go, oh, bollocks to the other channels. This guy's on it. Oh, right, so Russell was still in the lead on lap 30. So it took 31 laps before Leclerc passed Russell. Oh, Russell defends it, and I tell you what, it's a hell of an overtake from Charles Leclerc that round the outside of George Russell on lap 31. Sharon, it's Gav, innit? On, I don't know if that's your girlfriend, wife, mum, daughter, cousin, sister, but you're on someone else's account, innit, Gav? Sister. Yeah. Cheers, Gav. Big ups, mate. I'm being tested, but listen. I live another day. I live to fight another day. Yeah, yeah, I might be on the chat, do yeah. Loose tongue, innit? Loose tongue now, Will. I'm a couple of JDs in. I mean, the truth comes out. Mind, it could be his mama's sister's. Oh, God. My brain's just exploded, Kim. Right. Back on track. Verstappen passes Leclerc. Right. So, Verstappen came from 14th. Leclerc started on the front row. And it's taken 40 laps, but Verstappen passes Leclerc. And then spins on lap 42. Hungary was actually quite good, you know, wasn't it? Hungary was actually quite good. Oh, Russell tries to go round both Red Bulls. Hey, that Hass's up there as well. You're on a Southern Comfort one. I'm on a Jack Daniels one. So Verstappen, right, came from 14th. Overtook Leclerc, spun, then had to overtake Leclerc again. Lap 45, he's back ahead. Mate, it's ridiculous. Russell v Leclerc for P2. So George Russell was on a madness. It's actually a decent race, you know, the Hungarian Grand Prix. There's a lot of overtaking at the front. It's Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc. And then Leclerc pits. Ferrari's strategy in the bin again. Oh. This is when Mercedes started coming good. So Mercedes finished second and third. Laps 63 of 70 in Hungary. I was like you, Rob, thinking, shall I quit now? Last video got 104. Mate, that's mega. That's mega, Gav. That is absolutely mega. Hey, you are an inspiration, mate. That is honestly, that is unbelievable. I think I'd be popping the champagne live on stream if I got 104,000 views. Mate, I'd be spraying champagne around the room, bollocks to everything. I'd be like, we have now taken off. I know, that's mad. He does highlights. He does highlights of Jams' stream, and not only Jams', in it, you do other football watch-along channels, and the highlights are there, like goal reactions and stuff. Absolutely taken off, mate. Fair play to you, Gav. That's big moves. Right, so Verstappen wins it by a comfortable margin in the end. How are we rating this race? So Verstappen wins it from 14th. From Hamilton by 8 seconds. It's Mercedes 2 and 3 on the grid. This is more than a 5 out of 10 race, This is a... what are we giving it? Hungary is somewhere around a 6 or 7. Because we had the Russell Leclerc thing. Verstappen fighting from the back. I'm going to give it a 7. Because Verstappen won it from 14th. Like, that's actually... whoa, what's going on there? That's actually mad. It's got to be a 7 out of 10. Right, let's go to Belgium. Let's go to Belgium. Let's go to Spa. What happened in Spa? World Cup? No, not World Cup, mate. Belgium 2022 World Cup. Are you mad? I'm not bothered about that, bro. I already watched that tonight. Right, 7 million views. Here we go. Race highlights. 2022 Belgium. What happened in the Belgian Grand Prix? Can anyone remember? It's one of them I don't remember. And then as soon as the video starts, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this one. It's like that. Right, let's go. Belgium. So it's Sainz on pole. It's Sainz and Perez front row. That's got to be a first in F1, that. Alonso on the second row. What was this qualifying session? Alonso P2 after turn 1. I'd totally forgotten this. How the hell had I forgotten this? Sainz Alonso 1-2, Hamilton third. And it's Hamilton Alonso side by side. Oh, and Hamilton gets flipped into the air. I do remember this. Hamilton Alonso made contact at the top of the hill. And he flips him in the air. Bro. Oh. I tell you what. Oh, yeah, because Hamilton DNF from that, didn't he? It was a Hamilton DNF. Hamilton v Alonso for P2 up at the top of the hill. What do they call it? Lacombe. Mate. Oh, my goodness. Ocon takes out... Oh, no, it's Latifi. Latifi takes out Bottas. Whoa. Wow. So Hamilton DNF on lap 1. Yeah. Verstappen again fighting through the pack. What happened to Verstappen in qualifying again in Belgium? He's fighting through again. P5 now, Verstappen. Sox reacts. No, Kim, I've never seen that. But I'm definitely Googling that later. I'm definitely typing that into YouTube. Because that even sounds funny. So at lap 7, it was Sainz, Perez, Russell, Verstappen, top 4. Alonso 5th. So Max was just on a rampage, just taking Max is just on an absolute domination. I tell you what, Sainz had half a chance at a win here. Has that got you watching it? It does sound funny. Is there a Sox reacts to F1? Sox reacts to the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Incredible. Lap 16. Right, so the Belgian Grand Prix then is just about Verstappen starting in 8th and just having a rampage through the grid. Just overtaking everyone left, right and centre and coming through. We've got Russell v Leclerc here for P4 on lap 16. I don't remember any of this. So Mercedes were actually quick then. So Mercedes quicker than Ferrari in Belgium. Is that right? And Verstappen then takes the lead on lap 18. Right, so it takes Verstappen 18 laps to go from 8th to 1st. I think it's at that point, it's like giving the championship trophy, innit? I mean, this is what, round 13? Something like that? This is round 13 of 22, and it's like, give him the trophy now, because he's just come from 8th, and he's already leading by lap 18. So, and then Perez makes it a Red Bull 1-2 by lap 21. Now we cut to lap 35. It's Vettel v Gasly for 7th. So Aston Martin is starting to come good now, because Aston Martin had a horrible first half of the season. But maybe this is where they're starting to come good. And is that Alonso? It's Ocon. Whoa, the 3 wide. Gasly, Ocon and Vettel. Wow. 3-way fight. 3-way fight into Colm. No. Colm wasn't in the race. Lecombe. It's a corner. In some circuits, the corners have names, you know. Most tracks it's turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, etc. But some historic circuits, like the Belgian Grand Prix, it's all Lecombe, Rivage, you know, Eau Rouge, Radion, Pouan. You know, they've all got fancy names. This is one of them. Yeah. Oh, Colm's here. Colm's here anyway. Well, welcome in. Not all that happened in the Belgian Grand Prix, right? So Verstappen wins it by 19 seconds in the end. All right, mate. All right, we'll pause it there. So it's Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, top 3. Russell, Leclerc. What are we giving the Belgian Grand Prix out of 10? It's not as good as Hungary, is it? Max came through the pack. Is it a 5? Is it a 4? What really happened there? It's just Verstappen came through from 8th and eventually won it. It's a 4. I'll give it a 4. Like, it's great for Verstappen, but for everyone else, it's like, nah. You thought you were gonna do over the winter break? I have no idea, Gav. Videos like this, season review, knows his onions. Oh, I know me onions from Onions Colm. Hey. When it comes to this sport, I know a thing or two. Oh, is Will? Have you got a channel? Have you, Will? I'll subscribe to you in a minute after this. In a few minutes. Your channel's great. Yeah, Gav, I've seen a few of Gav's videos, mate. He's good. WRC, WWE. What, wrestling? World Rally Championship. But imagine doing a watch along on World Rally Championship, though. That would be impossible. No one could do that. Right, what's after Belgium? Netherlands. Dutch Grand Prix. Dutch Grand Prix. Gives the highlights. Imagine I put on the wrong year and I'm like, what's going on, bruv? Right, 2022 Dutch Grand Prix highlights. You could, hey Kim, if you can do a World Rally Championship watch along, then big ups to you, because that would be. And he's into turn 684. No, do you know what? You'd have to do it. You'd have to do it like a co-driver, Kim. You'd have to go 5 right into 1 left, hairpin right over Le Crest, 3 right into 5 left, and he takes that perfectly. Does Sebastian Loeb, the 9-time world champion, and it's 4 left into 5 right over the hill down the. You can't do a rally watch along, mate. It's impossible. Your brother's a rally driver. That's mad. I actually think rally drivers have more skill than F1 drivers. Who took Vettel's place? Weirdly enough, Colm, 41-year-old Fernando Alonso has taken Vettel's place at Aston Martin, moving from Alpine. And taking Alonso's place at Alpine is Pierre Gasly from AlphaTauri. And taking Pierre Gasly's place at AlphaTauri is rookie Nick De Vries. So it's all musical chairs in Formula One, Cole, as is over winter break. We're in a musical chairs. Right. But yeah, it's weird that Vettel's retired and been replaced by a man who's 6 years older. That's weird, isn't it? That's not just me. That is weird, isn't it? He's retired and he's been replaced by someone who's 6 years older. So get in. Right. Let's do it. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. Oh wait, let me no, pause. Let me put the graphic down there. We're now watching the Dutch Grand Prix. Of course we are. And yeah, we're ready to give it a mark out of 10. Right, let's go. Whoa, what's going on with that? Someone's convinced because of Daniel Bryan winning SummerSlam. Have you ever heard that prank call? It's John Cena. This is the best prank call in history. Right, let's do the Dutch Grand Prix. Round, what, 15? Something like that? Round 14, maybe? Wow. Oh, Sainz and Hamilton make contact in turn 1 at the Dutch Grand Prix. So it's Verstappen, obviously, who led away from the front. Then it's the two Ferraris. I'm not sure what order they're in. Oh, so it's a Verstappen Leclerc front row, Sainz third. Hamilton dives down the inside of Sainz in turn 1. Oh, and he just about gets away with it. Norris is about 7th. Oh, Magnussen crashes. I don't remember this. Magnussen touching the wall. On lap 2, gets away with it though. Wow. I don't know how Kevin managed to keep going there. Russell passes Norris. Lap 15. Sainz is in the pits. If they're showing pit stops on the highlights reel, then not a lot's happened. Perez runs over. It's a horrendous 13-second pit stop from Sainz, which I'd completely forgotten about. I mean, average pit stop in Formula 1 is about 3 seconds, so a 12-second pit stop is like a year in Formula 1 terms. It's like, bro, what are you even doing? We've got a bit of Schumacher versus Vettel action on lap 35. Right, lap 36. Mate, not a lot's happened here so far. Hamilton v Perez for third. Anybody? We're in the Netherlands. Orange everywhere. Sainz had an awful race. Yeah, 12-second pit stop. How do you remember that? But that's just happened, yeah. Hamilton round the outside of Perez. Merc were quick. Mercedes were quick. No, longest pit stop ever, Anto, was something like 48 hours. Yeah. 48-hour pit stop, Anto. Yeah. Search up Valtteri Bottas, Monaco. I think it's 2019 pit stop. 2 days. 2 days. Yeah. 48-hour pit stop. It's true facts. No, what happened is, let me pause this a second. No, what happened is they couldn't get the wheel off in the pit stop because they sheared the nut. And so it's just smooth as an otter's pocket. They couldn't. So they sent the. So he was out of the race. They couldn't change the tyre and they'd sheared the nut. So he was out of the race. They still couldn't get the wheel off. They had to send the car back to the factory in England, where 2 days later they managed to wrench the wheel off it. 48-hour pit stop. True fact. 2 days. On Monday afternoon, they got the... or something like that. On Tuesday morning, they got the wheel off it. Yeah. True facts. Right. Oh, I remember this drama with Tsunoda breaking down, and then he wasn't broken down, and then he was. Virtual safety car, like 49 out of 72. Listen, nothing's happened in the Dutch Grand Prix here. And all they needed was a can of WD-40. No, they'd shared the bolt. They'd shared the nut, so it was a bugger to get off. It was a bugger. They couldn't get the wheel off. Okay, that race, Tsunoda, yeah, I remember stopping. Yeah, it was weird that Tsunoda stopped because it caused like a controversy because it favoured Verstappen. I remember the Tsunoda breakdown favouring Verstappen, and people went full tinfoil hat mode, full conspiracy, didn't they? Of course it's not, it's just coincidence, or is it? No, it's just coincidence, but yeah, people are on a full conspiracy thing, but... I mean, on the highlights, we're on lap 58, and like, has anything significant happened, really? No. I mean, the fact that they're showing pit stops and unsafe releases means... So Hamilton led, and Verstappen went round the outside of him. Why don't I remember that Hamilton led when the safety car came out, and Verstappen went round the outside of him when they restarted the race? This seems like it should have been significant, but clearly wasn't. Lap 63. And Russell is going to pass Hamilton for P2. Oh, because Hamilton's on like the wrong tyres. They nearly crash. How was Lewis in the lead when the safety car came out? He mustn't... Oh... Right, I get it. So Hamilton didn't pit behind the safety car. So he's on the old tyres and everyone's just mugging him. I get you. And then Verstappen wins. Obviously. Verstappen wins the Dutch Grand Prix from Russell and Leclerc. I've already forgotten what happened. This is not a memorable race. The 2022 Dutch Grand Prix is not something that's going to go down in history, is it? Right, I'm going to hit pause on that. Right, what are we giving it out of 10? It's a 3, isn't it? It's what happened in that race? Is it even a 2? This season a year to forget. It is. It's not a 6, Colm. I mean, how is it a 6? What happened? It's a 3 or a 2. I've just watched the highlights. Listen, I've just sat through 8 minutes of highlights and I cannot tell you what's just happened. It's a 3. It's a 3 for me. If you compare last year's Zandvoort, well, probably the year before Zandvoort, I'm probably giving a 1. Italy, I've got to be honest, you know what I mean? I love this sport, but when it's a bad race, it's a bad race. I mean, right. What are we talking about? Italy. Monza 2022. Thank you very much. I can't say this is a bad one. What, Monza? Or you mean this? Or you mean the Dutch Grand Prix? No. nothing happened. When the highlights show a pit stop, I mean, that should be a rule, Flabby. I'm not going to lie. That is kind of a rule. It's an unwritten rule that we've just made up during this stream. But I think if you're showing pit stops in the highlight reel, it ain't the one. It ain't the one. Because were they showing the pits, put it this way, look at the first two races, 8.5s out of 10. Were they showing pit stops in that race highlights package? I'll give you a clue. No, they weren't. Oh no, why we're on a laggy? We're on a Logan. There we go. What's saying? When the highlight exactly? Rob, after the greatest Grand Prix, and you low bed it after as well, eh? What? Every highlights will have pit stop shown. Well, yeah, but but you know what I mean, though. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, they want to show like the strategies and who's pitted first and that. But on some races where it's dead, they're showing a lot of pit stops. You know what I'm saying? On the races where it's a bit dead, they might show 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 pit stops. Whereas on the races where it's action packed, you might see a flicker of Verstappen in the pits. You know what I mean? So, you know. And Monaco. No, Rob, no one. What? Greatest Grand Prix? I'm saying 2012 Brazil. But you know, it might not be. Every highlights, yeah, no one. Monaco and Japan upset Germany. I know, mate. Unbelievable. Right, let's go. This is Monza. Oh, this is when the Ferrari had the different livery. And it's Russell v Leclerc in turn 1. George Russell's on the front row in Monza. And look at Norris up in P3. It's Leclerc, Russell, Norris, top 3 in Italy at the start. Oh no, it's Ricciardo. It's Ricciardo. I am absolutely in the bin. How is Ricciardo P3? How have I forgotten that it was Leclerc, Russell, Ricciardo, Gasly? What the hell happened in qualifying? Leclerc, Russell, Ricciardo, Gasly, top 4 on the grid. Eh? They must have been a wet quali. You're not telling me. Oh, it's another one of these races where Verstappen comes through from the. Oh, Max, Sainz and Hamilton grid penalties. It's a good job someone's got a good memory. In here. Dry quali. Wet rain. Who knows? Yeah, probably on a Demcast night before. I feel like it's significant that Ricciardo was in the top 3 in Italy, but I don't remember that being a thing. Wait a minute, let me just pause it right there. So Verstappen's up at the front with Leclerc by lap 6, but Sainz is 11th and Hamilton's at the back. They must have had severe grid penalties going on. It's amazing what you forget in it. But Ferrari had that nice livery with the yellow on it. Ferrari with the special edition Monza livery, which was chef's kiss. It was really nice. Lap 10. And Sainz is coming through the pack then. So Sainz must have had a grid penalty starting outside the top 10. Oh, this was the race that Nick De Vries got 2 points in the Williams as well. Yeah. Leclerc from Verstappen. Okay, lap 12. And Vettel's out. Okay, engine failure. Cheers, Colm. Cheers, mate. Respect, bro. Both Astons DNF, did they? Yeah, so am I, Gav. France is a dead race, isn't it? Yeah, France is not. No one's going to lose sleep over having no French Grand Prix, are they? Well, at what do they call it? Le Castellet? Yeah, mate, bollocks to Le Castellet. Ricardo was so far up the grid, and I had no recollection of that at all. Hamilton v Alonso for 6th. So on lap 27, so at half race distance, it's Leclerc by 10 seconds over Verstappen, then Sainz, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Alonso. Lap 34. Look at the Ferrari guys all in that yellow kit and everything. So Verstappen, this is another one of those where Verstappen comes from like 8th and wins it. Mate. This is another forgetful one, this. I think Las Vegas could be a banger. I hope so. This is also the beginning of Alonso's DNFs being resumed. Oh, Alonso DNF'd right at the end, didn't he? And caused like a late safety car. And it finished under the safety car, didn't it? Verstappen leads Leclerc by 20 seconds on lap 37. Hamilton up to 6th. Okay, so Hamilton started right at the back and had a recovery up into the top 6 then. Oh, yeah, Ricardo DNF. Sorry, yeah. Ricardo DNF, that's right. Lap 42. Yeah, Vettel and Alonso are both out. Schumacher versus Latifi for 14th. I mean, if they're showing that on the highlights. No, this is not an Italian Grand Prix that'll go down in history, is it? This is not an Italian Grand Prix that's going to be remembered. Invite. Eh? Oh, don't forget to keep checking your post, Rob, for F1 awards. Hey, one day, Gav, I'll be at the FIA gala. Yeah, December 5th or something, innit? Hey, one day, when you see me at the FIA gala, you know I made it. Hey, when you see me on the grid with my microphone giving it, Verstappen, what do you think of your chances in the race today? Then you know we've cracked the YouTube algorithm at that point. If you ever see me on the grid before the race starts, we've cracked the YouTube algorithm. We've made it. You never know. Come back in 2028. Right. That's the end of the Italian Grand Prix. It's not good. Are in for the Schumacher. Colm. That might not be how you spell Schumacher. No, I was a big Mick Schumacher fan. But he's not in the sport next season. Right. What's next? Italy. I mean, really. I mean, this is why the season's forgetful. It's got to be another 3. What happened there? What's popping? Declan Gray, mate. Welcome in. We're into the last third of the season now. Monza's a 3 as well. Look at that, with a Belgium, Netherlands, Italy, and they're all just... What's happened? Right, then we go Singapore. Right, Singapore, and I think Checo wins this. This might be worth a gander. Oh yeah, home race for SHT. Was it any good? See, I forget. Singapore 2022. Was it wet? See, this is it. This is why what? Nearly got jammed. Oh, nearly got jams are banned from Twitch. Why? What did you do? I think Jams is on Twitch now, isn't he? Is next. Huge Alonso fan. Right. Let me just pause that real quick. Pause that one. And then we're going to go to now watching Singapore. And then we'll get that ready out of 10. And then we'll click play on Singapore. And let's see if there's anything memorable that happened in Singapore. It looks like it's... Is it Leclerc on pole? Leclerc and Perez front row it is, with looks like Hamilton third and Sainz fourth. Okay. And it's damp. Yeah, it's damp in Singapore. Just like it was in like 2018 or whatever that wet race was. Yeah, so it's a damp one. A lot of spray. So it's Perez, Leclerc, Sainz and Hamilton top 4 then on lap 1. Okay. Max only qualified 8th. Yeah, so Max has had to come through from further in the pack multiple times. Wow, this is going to go... Albon crashes. Whoa, and Verstappen aggressive with one of the Haas. Whoa. Verstappen fighting through the pack. He's in the middle. Verstappen fighting Ricciardo for 12th. Wow. Verstappen, did he have a stinker, did he? Here comes, we're on lap 2. And it's Verstappen versus Stroll for 10th. As well as the Mercs. Zhou Guan Yu's out on lap 7. Oh, he's had a crash. Yeah, I seem to remember this. Yeah, Zhou Guan Yu and Latifi crashed on lap 7. Safety car. Okay. Then lap 11, safety car comes in. So it's Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Norris in the top 5. Then Alonso, Gasly, Vettel, Verstappen. Verstappen 9th behind Sebastian Vettel then. And still crying of laughter by nearly playing it because it's a dirty song. Is it that Adam Sandler song? Because that is a funny song that Adam Sandler won. Rave reviews, it's overrated. 13th to 8th at the start from Vettel. Mega. Oh, and Verstappen diving down the inside of Pierre Gasly for P7 on lap 11 then. Okay, lap 21. In Singapore is a song from Lemon called Two Trucks. I've not heard that one. I have heard the Adam Sandler one though. I'm not going to sing it, but it's funny. But it starts off innocently, the Adam Sandler one. You don't know it's a dirty song. It just starts off, I'm gonna love you. And then and then it turns. And it's hilarious. Oh, Albon just crashes. Yeah, Albon in the wall. Lap 33 and Hamilton's in the wall. Yeah, but he gets away with it. He's whacked it in reverse because it's a Tech Pro barrier. It's a soft barrier, so he gets away with it. Yeah, not while I'm streaming, innit, Declan? No. Maybe later on. Whoa. Tsunoda in the wall on lap 36. A DNF with mechanical issue. Wow. Wow. Tsunoda crashed hard. Tsunoda with a big crash. And another full safety car then. So lap 39, it comes in again. It's Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris. Verstappen now up to 5th. Oh, yeah, Verstappen with the big lunge. Yeah. Verstappen with the massive lunge on Lando Norris, and it goes wrong. And he ends up 20 metres down the road in the runoff area. Yeah. I remember that. Verstappen with the massive lunge that doesn't work. So ends up 11th. He's 11th now. Oh, mate. After this race, McLaren pass Alpine in construction. How would you remember details like that? That's crazy. That's crazy. Verstappen up to 9th. Lap 57. So they don't get the full 66 laps done. They go to the clock because there's 2 safety cars and it's in the wet. Hamilton makes a mistake. Lets Verstappen through. Both Aston Martins are in the top 7. In fact, that does ring a bell, that. Verstappen passes Vettel at the end. So I think Verstappen ends up 7th then. And both McLarens in the top 5. Norris, Ricciardo, 4th and 5th. It's not a bad race, this. It's not a 3, this. Perez wins in Singapore from the 2 Ferraris, Leclerc, Sainz, then Norris 4th, Ricciardo 5th, Stroll P6, Verstappen 7th, Vettel 8th, Hamilton 9th, Pierre Gasly 10th. That's not a 3 out of 10, that. That's quite good, that. Well, okay, so Perez with the massive dub in Singapore. It's not a classic, is it? It's not an unbelievable race. But it's not a 3. What are we giving that one? A 6? Such a waste of time being in this team. What, Alonso? Yeah, but Alonso's he's moving, isn't he? What are we giving Singapore? A 6? It's not a 7, is it? I feel like I'm going to give it a 6.5. I'm going to give it a 6.5. I think 7's too generous, but I feel like 6 is a bit harsh. I'll give Singapore a 6.5. Japan. In fact, I'm going to move myself over there now. Right. Let me move that. Why is that doing that? Why is the graphic being awkward with me? Don't be awkward with me. Japan. Let's do it. Japan. Out of 10. Let's rig it up on the YouTubes. Japan. This was the one that was delayed heavily with rain. Alonso did 97 laps in the postseason with Aston Martin. He only did the morning session. Yeah, this is a mad one. This was delayed so long. This was a 4-hour stream. This, mind you, this is going to be a flipping 4-hour stream, isn't it? This right now. But no, this race was a 4-hour driller. So yeah, it was delayed by nearly 2 hours, I think. Okay, so Japan, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, Japanese Grand Prix, massively delayed, and let's go. It looks like it's Verstappen. Leclerc goes down the inside. I remember this. But Verstappen holds on round the outside. He was delayed longer than Denver's fight. It was, Kim. It was delayed nearly 2 hours, I think. Wow. Dramas at the start. Yes, HT. Verstappen hangs it out round the outside. Despite Leclerc's better start. Which is just a science in the wall. Just as you put it in the chat, it's happened. Science in the wall, and then Tsunoda's carrying round a piece of barrier with him. Just because. Or Gasly. Yeah, Gasly hit the board. Oh, this was the drama. This was the whole drama with the flipping... I remember. This was the drama with the truck being on circuit again. Yeah. Albon mechanical issue and just DNF, yeah. Oh, and this was a great race from Vettel, wasn't it? Despite him spinning off in turn 1, he's in the gravel. But doesn't he end up about 6th? Yeah, the crane in the track. They got in, they got in big trouble for that, didn't they? It was big drama, this. This isn't a 3 out of 10, is it, Japan? I mean, it's all kicking off. Lap 2. All that. There was like 3 minutes of highlights then, and that was just lap 1. Oh, race suspended. Yeah, this is it. Race suspended for like 2 hours. That's brutal, that. Yeah, Latifi got a couple of points, didn't he? Yeah, man. Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez. Okay. So we get a 40-minute race out of it. After 2 hours later, we get a 40-minute race. Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Ocon, Hamilton, top 5. I don't remember Ocon being 4th. No, I do actually. Vettel pits for the Inters on a gamble. It's just timed. They say, forget the laps, we're just doing a 40-minute race because it's sunset and it's going to go dark. Yeah, Ocon holds Hamilton off for the whole race. Yeah. Yeah. Vettel with the gamble then on the Inters with Nicky Latifi. Okay. We're just seeing pit stops here of him going from full wets to intermediates with 35 minutes to go, whatever that means. Whatever that means to you, but... Oh, Mick Schumacher led for 3 seconds. Yeah. Mick Schumacher led for 3 seconds. Big dub. Yeah, because Mick stayed out on the full wets. I remember this. This is more recent now. This is within the last few weeks. You know, this is within the last couple of months. So I'm starting to remember now. I'm starting to, because we're starting to get towards present day. This is like October. So we're starting to get to like present day. So it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Ocon, Hamilton, top 5. Okay. How many? Russell passes Norris. And McLaren with that weird livery with the pink on it, which I wasn't a fan of. Oh, Hamilton, what's this? Hamilton v Ocon. Oh, yeah, this was the story of the race, wasn't it? Hamilton v Ocon. Ocon's underrated, you know. I know you're a big fan of Alonso SHT, but you know what? Alonso, Ocon's a good driver, you know. Perez versus Leclerc on the last lap. There's a link for Weird Song. Good God. I'll have a listen in a bit. So it was Leclerc v Perez on the final lap for P2. Oh yeah, it was, because there was that. Yeah. They come out of the last corner. And Verstappen wins the championship in weird fashion, doesn't he? Yeah. And Leclerc bouncing over the wheel. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a controversial finish from Leclerc and Perez. Yeah, Leclerc finishes P2, but he gets a penalty, and he gives Verstappen the championship. Yeah. Yeah, but Alpine should have got more points. Yeah, they should have got more points with Alonso, definitely. Alonso had like 3 or 4 DNFs that were just ridiculous. Leclerc and Penn and Max Crown. Yeah, exactly. Leclerc time penalty and Max Crown world champion under weird circumstances. 15 minutes after the race finished. In fact, I was giving it the full outro, you know, see you next week, and then I had to come back on and go, Max is world champion. Yeah, it was a weird one. It wasn't long ago, this. We're getting towards the end now. What we're giving Japan out of 10? Champion of the world, Max Verstappen. I mean, it's not a groundbreaking race, is it, Japan, though? It's a wet race. It's a delayed race. You've got your Hamilton v Ocon. You've got your Leclerc-Perez drama at the end. Verstappen winning the championship. Is it a 5? Yeah, 5 or a 6. Japan. I give it a 6. It's 5 or 6 in SHT. We'll go. I'll tell you what. We'll bridge the gap. We'll go 5.5. Bollocks. We'll go 5.5. It's not great, is it? No, I feel a bit harsh. 5.5. 5.5. I feel a bit harsh. 6. America. This was a good one. US GP 2022. This was a good one. Austin. Yeah. Race highlights. Let's do it. It could have been, yeah, if it wasn't delayed and all that. The thing goes... Come on, enough with the adverts. Oh, shit. Wait. Right, we're into the last four races or something now. Right, let's go. US Grand Prix. I know this was a good one. Pole, yeah, Sainz on pole. It looks like Sainz Verstappen front row. Let's do it. So, US Grand Prix 2022. Let's have it. Oh, Verstappen takes the lead immediately. And then it's the 2 Mercedes, 3rd and 4th, go side by side. Oh, and Sainz gets spun round by Russell. This is recent. Oh, I remember this. Sainz gets spun round by Russell at the start, yeah. Mate, was he on pole as well? Sainz has had some rotten luck. I mean, I know Alonso has as well, but Sainz has had some rotten luck. I tell you what. We've seen a replay of it on board with George Russell. Oh, I mean, George has gone steaming in a bit quick there. I mean, Sainz is trying to switch back on Verstappen, which is not the best thing to do. Oh, wow. Perez, Leclerc, Alonso take grid penalties, do they? Sainz out of the race, lap 2. GG's. Mate, Sainz has not had a good year. Sainz has not had a good year, has he? Where we at? USA? Yeah, we're at USA, Will. We're at USA. We're getting there. We're getting there now. Russell passes Stroll for P3. How is Stroll in third? The thing don't work. Yeah, no worries. I'll be on Jams's thing in a bit, Declan, and we can rig it up then. Lap 6. Aston Martin. What did they do in quali? Because they were in like the top 5. It's ridiculous. On lap 12, Aston Martin is still 5th and 6th. Bottas in the gravel. Sainz had a crap year. He did. For one reason or another, whether it's the team, whether he's made a mistake, whether it's strategy, Sainz just had a shocker. I mean, Leclerc didn't have a great year, but Sainz had an absolute shocker. Stroll qualified 7th. Oh, this is it. There's all grid penalties. Oh, that was a big crash. Alonso and... was it Alonso and Stroll? Are the two teammates for next year? I didn't even clock that at the time. The two teammates for next year. Oh, and Alonso took off. It was like Weber Kovalainen 12 years ago. Whoa. Alonso nearly took off. He's like pulling a wheelie at 150 mile an hour. Wow, Leclerc came second in the championship. Thought he had a good year. Yeah, I mean, it's just that Ferrari didn't have a great year back with the car that they built. They could have taken the fight to Red Bull a lot more than they did. But I mean, yeah, P2 in the Drivers' Championship, you can't call it awful, can you? But the gap between P1 and P2 was way too big. Stroll at it again. I don't think Stroll's that bad, but he's not great either, is he? Oh, mate. Right, Verstappen jumped in the pit stops. Verstappen v Leclerc on lap 39. Leclerc v Verstappen. Vettel's in the lead at this point. On lap 39, it's Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc. Yeah. Sebastian Vettel led the race. Oh, this was the one where Hamilton nearly won it. So Hamilton takes the lead. This is a good race, this. This is a good race, this. Yeah, this is a good one. Lap 48. Alonso P6. Despite the aeroplane crash, he's still in the top 6. Vettel had a terrible pit stop. Yeah. Vettel should have been top 6 here. Oh, Hamilton and Verstappen go wheel to wheel. Yeah, this was a good race. Hamilton and Verstappen fired it out for the win with 6 laps to go. It's a good one. It's at least a 7, this. 8 maybe, yeah. Because Verstappen takes the lead with 4 laps to go. And Vettel was Aston Martin were rapid. Look at Vettel going round the outside of Alex Albon. Vettel, I don't know, had a great race. Right, so it's a good race, this. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Perez, Russell, Norris 6th, Alonso 7th. But Alonso gets a penalty, but then he gets overturned. Alonso, and look at the action. Sebastian Vettel round the outside of Kevin Magnussen on the last lap. It's a good race. It's a good race. I might give this an 8. I mean, is it better than Bahrain and Saudi Arabia? It's close. I'm giving give USA an 8. Yeah, you're right. You give it an 8. Will, you're right. Will, it's an 8. It's an 8. This is a long stream. This 3 hours 10 minutes. Right, 8 out of 10 for US. Right, we've got 3 left. 3 to go, guys. We can make it. We can make it. We can make it. Right. What's after US? Mexico. Right, Mexico. Let's do it. We're getting towards present day now. Next is an absolute stinker. Is it? And the fact that I don't remember it means it might be a stinker, yeah. He might be a stinker, this. He might be. Right, we're going to move that on to Mexico. Watching now, Mexico. Here we go. Oh, it's good, this, though. I have thoroughly enjoyed this stream, honestly. This has been really good just to watch the season again. Because I'll never watch it again, let's be honest. It's not a classic season. This is like the final chapter of the season. This is just the full wrap-up. I'll never watch these highlights again. It is what it is. It's good to just relive it one last time. It's lights out and away we go in Mexico. Okay, here we go then. Mexican Grand Prix. And Mercedes are now on the pace, the second and third on the grid. And I tell you what, they're attacking Verstappen. Oh, I remember. I remember this. Okay, so it's Verstappen to the front, and then Hamilton and Russell going side by side through the first couple of corners, and Hamilton gets P2 then. And then Perez goes round the outside of Russell. So Russell loses 2 places in the first couple of corners. So it's now Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Russell, and then it stays like that for the rest of the race. Ricciardo officially back to Red Bull? Yeah, he is, yeah. Backup driver. Reserve driver. Yeah. I wonder if Mick will get the Mercedes reserve role. I hope he does. So, yeah, so... Okay. Then we're just seeing, like... This was where Ricciardo crashes and still gets driver of the day in it. Ricciardo just punts... Does he punt Tsunoda off or Gasly and still gets driver of the day, which to me is wild. We're looking at... It's lap 13 and on the highlights, and we're looking at Gasly versus Stroll for 15th. So they're struggling for content. Yeah, they're struggling for content here. We're looking at the battle for 15th. It's not a good sign. Yeah, Gasly pushes Stroll off for 15th. You know, gets a penalty for it. Lap 25. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 1.6. So Hamilton was quick. Verstappen was on the softs. I remember this being like a game of chess. Yes, I remember SHT. I remember this being like a game of chess. This race. I remember it being like a game of chess. Next stream, rank the drives and teams. Yeah, I suppose so. I could do that SHT. Yeah, I'll do that next week or something. Or maybe we get... Yeah. Next stream, rank the drives and teams. Yeah, I'll rank the drivers. We'll do that. We'll do that. Why not? You know what I mean? We've got 3 months to... we've got 3 months to kill SHT, so that's not a bad idea, that. I will do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll rank the drivers from worst to... Yeah, we'll do that. Good idea. Ocon v Bottas for P10. Is this groundbreaking? You know, I mean, we're on lap 42 already of 71. So, lap 42, Hamilton complaining about the tyres. He's 9.5 seconds behind Verstappen. Lap 51. Lap 51 of 71, and it's Tsunoda v Ricciardo. This was the big moment of the race, really, wasn't it? So they're going into turn 4, Ricciardo and Tsunoda. And then Ricciardo's going to try a desperate lunge. I mean, Tsunoda should have given him the space. But Ricciardo's put his nose in there, and it's a bit of a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Punts Tsunoda off the circuit. Ooh. Tsunoda with a bit of floor damage and side pod damage. Tsunoda not happy on team radio. Lap 54. Gasly versus Vettel for 13th. Yeah, they're struggling for content here in Mexico. They are struggling. It's not a memorable one, this. I just don't know what to say about Alpine after this race. Even after Alonso was comfortably 7th in the car has issues again. Does he DNF again here? Does he DNF again? Unbelievable. I mean, this season, there's been a lot of scraps in the midfield. You can't slate it for that. In the midfield pack, it has been action-packed. But it's at the front. It's not been the one, has it? Sainz and Perez in championship winning material are just not. It's just not that exciting. It's not that exciting, is it, with Sainz and Perez in championship winning material? That's the problem. That's half the problem, I think. Perez and Sainz are great drivers, but they've just not got that. The thing. They've not got the X factor. And so, it's like Barrichello and Webber. Perez and Sainz are like the new Barrichello and Webber. Like, they're great, but they're just not. It's just a bit dead. It's just a little bit dead at the front this season. So, Verstappen wins again. Hamilton second. Perez third. Mexico, what are we giving that out of 10? Right. This is not a great Mexican Grand Prix, that is it? Is it a 3? A 1? A 1? A 1? A 1's too harsh. Because I've seen races where literally nothing happens. At least the Ricciardo Tsunoda thing. Is it a 2, though? It could be a 2. The worst one of the season. I think you might be right. I think I'm going to give it a 2. I think I'm going to give it a 2. Brazil. Now Brazil's good. Brazil's good. We're getting there now. 3 hours and 18 minutes in. Love it. Love it. No, I needed to do this closure. Brazil election 2022. That's not what I want, mate. I don't want the Brazil election 2022. You type in Brazil on YouTube, it's like, Brazil election? No, bruv. You know what I mean? I'm not on a political one. I'm on a racing one. Brazil election. Give a damn. Right, here we go. This one's a 9.5. Is it? Is it that good? I mean, are you a George Russell fan, you? Are you a secret George Russell? No, it is a good one. It is a good one, this. Okay. Let me pause it, right. Okay, now watching Brazil. Here we go. So we've given Mexico a 2 out of 10. So what happens in Brazil? We've got a Mercedes front row. Why have I already forgotten that was a thing? It's a Mercedes front row in Brazil. Let's go. It's Brazil. 2022, George, not a George fan, was a great race. Yeah. Let's have a look. This was about 3 weeks ago and I've already forgotten. Okay. So it's Russell, Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, Norris. Norris fighting the two Ferraris. How Norris is ahead of the two Ferraris is crazy. I don't know how that was a thing. But Norris is up there in P5. Okay. Oh, and then the Ricardo Magnussen thing. And Magnussen was on pole as well. Magnussen was on pole before the sprint. And he's ended up being taken out by Ricardo on lap 1. I mean... Oh. I mean, the Magnussen pole position alone has got to give this race big points. Because that was the moment of the season for me. For me, the Magnussen pole position was the moment of the season. Not going to lie. Oh, Verstappen and Hamilton crash. Oh, lap 7 and it's Verstappen and Hamilton collide at turn 2. Oh, mate. This is a good one. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. We might be up in the 9s here. We might be up in the 9s here on this one. It's a good one. And then Russell, and then Norris hits Leclerc. And then Norris puts Leclerc in the wall. And Leclerc carries on unbelievably. Unbelievably. Leclerc is able to carry on. We see a replay of the Hamilton-Verstappen incident in turn 2. And I think Lewis should have left him more room. I think Lewis goes for the apex when he's got a car down his inside. I think it's Hamilton's fault. But Norris slings Leclerc in the wall there. It's amazing how Leclerc was able to carry on in that race. Then on restart, Max and Lewis collide. Yeah, it's crazy. So, Hamilton passing Schumacher for 7th. How did Mick not score any points here? He's in the top 8 on lap 14. Did Mick not get any points here? This is dead out. Hamilton on a charge then. So Hamilton with the contact. Did he have to pit? And then he's on a... Hamilton on a charge. P4. Lap 17. Vettel passes Norris for 5th. Vettel, lad. That Aston Martin was actually quick, wasn't it? At the end of the season. That Aston Martin was actually quick. I think they were the most improved car, weren't they, Aston Martin, over the season? From beginning to end, Aston Martin were like the 9th fastest car, or even the slowest car, to being like the 5th fastest car. It's crazy. And Hamilton versus Perez on lap 45 and goes round the outside of him. Hey? And makes it a Mercedes 1-2. Oh, and Lando Norris stops out on circuit on lap 52. Lando Norris DNF. I think second DNF of the season after that. After he tripped over Gasly in Miami. So Lando Norris just with an engine failure, gearbox failure, some kind of mechanical issue. Lap 61, okay. Okay, Perez v Sainz on lap 61. This is a good race, this. So on lap 61 out of 71, you've got Mercedes 1-2 separated by less than a second. And then you've got Perez fighting off the two Ferraris. You've got Alonso battling Bottas for 6th. And Alonso was rapid, wasn't he? Alonso finished ahead of both Red Bulls. Madness. So Perez drops off at the end of the race. I don't know if Perez was on the wrong tyres, but he's been passed by Sainz, and then he's passed by Leclerc, and Max Verstappen overtakes 2 in one corner on lap 63. And Leclerc then down the inside on lap 64 of Perez. So it then becomes Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez. And even Alonso must pass Perez then. I don't know if Perez... Yeah, Perez must have been on the wrong tyres, isn't it? Perez on the mediums. No way. So Alonso gets him into turn 4 on lap 65 of 71. Fernando Alonso, P5. Yeah, this is a good one, this. This is a good race. Oh, and Verstappen passes Perez as well for 6th with 3 laps to go. Okay, lap 71. And it's George Russell who wins. And he had to hold on. They didn't show that in the highlights package. But he had to hold on from Hamilton. And it was a well-fought victory for George. He won the sprint. He won the Grand Prix. It's a good race. Okay. Right, I'm going to pause it there as George Russell gives it the big one. Gives it the big scream on team radio. And I'm going to give Brazil... It's not a 9, is it? Is it a 9? Is Brazil better than Bahrain and Saudi Arabia at the beginning of the year? Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is a 9, isn't it? It's a 9. I think. If I'm giving Bahrain and Saudi Arabia 8.5s, or is it an 8? Is Brazil better than Bahrain and Saudi Arabia at the beginning? Because Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, Leclerc and Verstappen were fighting for the lead. In my opinion, most crazy race this season by far. I've given the British Grand Prix a 9. That was... It's a 9, isn't it? I don't think it's a 9.5. Brazil. We had the contact with Hamilton and Verstappen. That's drama. We had Norris putting Leclerc in the wall. That's drama. We had a Russell win. I'm going to give it a 9. Brazil's always good. It's not quite a 9. A 9.5 is like... If Hamilton and Russell had gone wheel to wheel for the lead, then you're talking like 9.5 settings. If Hamilton and Russell had literally gone wheel for wheel and like fought for the lead, then you're talking 9.5. A 10 is only if like the championship's on the line and like they win the championship on some crazy thing. That's a 10. Like Brazil 2012 is a 10. Because the championship's on the line as well as it being a fantastic race. But I'm going to give this a 9. If 9.5, if Hamilton and Russell go wheel to wheel for the win. Yes, Farhan. That's a 9.5. I'm going to give Brazil a 9. And then we go to Abu Dhabi, which was like 4 days ago. Let's do it. Final race. Welcome to the stream, Farhan. You're only 3 hours and 29 minutes late, so get in there, my lad. No, listen, right. Abu Dhabi 2022 highlights. Here we go then. Season finale. A bit more chaotic than Silverstone. I put them on a level pegging. I'll give them both a 9. I'll give them both a 9. Yeah, I have done. Come on, Abu Dhabi, load up, mate. Your last race. Right, here we go then. This was... Nah, no, you're not Farron, innit? But cheers for popping in just to say hello to me. I appreciate that most of the people that watch these streams and have seen the watch-alongs are just here because they know me from Denver's channel, and I appreciate that. You know, so big ups to you, mate. Right, let's get it. Let's see what happened in the season finale. So it was Red Bull. Oh, I remember. So it was Red Bull 1-2, Ferrari 3-4, Mercedes 5-6, wasn't it, on the grid? Why are we going really grainy quality? It wasn't a great race, this finale one, was it? Oh, yeah. Leclerc with the big send at turn 4. Okay. Yeah. And then it was Hamilton versus the 2 Ferraris up at the chicane. Okay. And Sainz goes for it on Hamilton. Lap 1, forces him wide. Bang. Bounces him over the sausage curb. Hamilton keeps the position, but he has to give it back, doesn't he? He has to give it back in the end. Because he should have fought it out, really. He could have stayed on circuit there. But cuts across the circuit. Bounces over the sausage curb. Whoa. Lap 4. Yeah, and Hamilton has to give it. Abu Dhabi's still okay. Cheers, Cole. Peace and love, brother. We're nearly done with this stream now. 3.5 hour stream. Well, it's a full season review, innit? Can't do that in 5 minutes. If you can do a full season review in 5 minutes, then you're not doing it right. This is a proper season review. So we got Hamilton versus Sainz again. So Hamilton goes around the outside of Sainz. So he gives the position back and then overtakes him straight away anyway. And then Sainz is fighting him again on lap 8. Meanwhile, it's a Red Bull 1-2 at the front. They're just cruising. Verstappen, Perez. Then it's Leclerc. And then it's this battle for P4 between Hamilton and Sainz on lap 8. And Sainz gets the position back again. So he becomes, by the end of lap 8, it's back to being Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes. And Vettel's battling Sebastian Vettel's final ever race in Formula 1. He's battling Esteban Ocon for 8th. I mean, it was only like 3 days ago. I ought to remember this. Yeah. Lap 9. Russell passes Hamilton. So Hamilton with the floor damage then from being flung in the air with the sausage curb. And Russell takes the position. And Russell with a bad pit stop. 5.2 seconds. Oh, and an unsafe release as well. Did he get a penalty for that unsafe release? He should have done. Yeah, 5-second penalty, yeah. Lap 23. And it's 3 wide into the chicane. Alonso overtakes Stroll and Tsunoda in one corner. I don't know how I missed that, but I missed that in the live race. I pray you know that Aston does make a good car next year. So do I, SHT. That'd be so interesting. They miss out on 6th. I know. Tiebreaker because of Bottas P5 in Imola. Wow. Are they level on points? Good thing is Aston have a bit more money. Yeah, and 100% win tunnel time. Yeah, exactly. As we see Vettel taking Gasly. Lap 39. Oh, and Schumacher and Latifi had a little crash, didn't they? Had a little tangle, yeah. And it's Mick's fault. Oh, Mick just... Why has Mick done that? I mean, they both got away with it. They're both able to continue in the race. Mick just tags him and spins Latifi round. It's a bit of a weird one. Vettel was on a different strategy as well, wasn't he? Vettel was on the wrong strategy. If it wasn't for Aston's bad strategy in the Vettel... Exactly. Aston should have beaten Alfa Romeo, really. Yeah, Aston should have beaten Alpha, but listen, I think they'll build a decent car next year. I think Aston Martin are the dark horses. It was just to see what Alpine can come up with Ocon and Gasly. But yeah, Hamilton and Perez were battling for that podium position. Then Perez gets ahead. It's not a great race. This is it. It's okay. Stroll passes Vettel. They shouldn't give Stroll the better strategy because Seb was clearly faster. Yeah, and Stroll's not the fastest. I know. Oh, does Hamilton DNF? Hamilton DNFs lap 50 with 3 laps from the end. And Hamilton crawls to it, grounds to a halt. So Alonso was out and Hamilton was out. So they couldn't do the donuts with Vettel at the end. And Hamilton retires from the race and doesn't win a race all season. Verstappen wins again by 9 seconds over Leclerc. Leclerc, in beating Perez, Perez was closing him down at the end, but Leclerc did beat Perez, not only in this race, but in the championship for P2. Sainz 4th, Russell 5th, Norris 6th, Ocon 7th, Stroll 8th. Ricciardo 9th, and Sebastian Vettel picks up the final point, and that's the end of the season. What a stream. 3 hours and 36 minutes. Get in. Hey, listen, I thoroughly enjoyed going through these races. Right, what we're giving an Abu Dhabi out of 10? What we're giving Abu Dhabi out of 10? It's about a 4. 4's a good shout. What happened, really? And we got... Yeah, it's a 3 or 4, isn't it? It's a 3 or 4. 3.5. It is one of them. It's Vettel's last race. Verstappen had it easy, just cruised. We had the Perez catching Leclerc at the end. I mean, not a lot happened, did it? I'm going to have to give it a 3, I think. I mean, what really happened there? Or is it a 4? Hamilton bouncing over the sausage curb at the start. I'm going to give it a 3. Listen, that is the 2022 season. Let me get that graphic off. We're not watching anymore. Right, that's it. That's my opinion on the 2022 season. Bahrain, 8.5 out of 10. Saudi Arabia, 8.5 out of 10. The season started off really well. Australia, a 5 out of 10. Imola, a 6. Miami, a 4. Spain, a great race, 8 out of 10. Russell was fighting for the win. Monaco, a 5. Azerbaijan, a 3. What even happened there? Forgotten now. And I watched the highlights an hour ago. Canada, a 4. Dead. UK, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, was a great race, 9 out of 10. Then I'm even covering the thing. So Austria, a 7, decent race. France, a 3. It's not even on the calendar next year for, well, listen, has the French Grand Prix ever been good since at Le Castellet? Nope. Hungary was a 7, good race. Russell again fighting at the front. Belgium, a 4, forgetful. Netherlands, a 3. What even happened? Italy, a 3. Monza's usually a great race. Not this year. 3 out of 10. Singapore gets a 6.5. Perez with the win. Couple of things happened. Hamilton in the wall, etc. Not horrendous. Japan with the huge rain delay. And then some drama in the 40 minutes that we got. That gets a 6. Maybe that's a bit harsh. Maybe Japan's a 7. Maybe Japan's a 7. I'm gonna make Japan a 7. I don't know what difference it makes. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna put Japan as a 7 because it was dramatic. A lot of things happened. I've been a bit harsh. Japan is 7. USA gets an 8 out of 10. A great race, the US Grand Prix at Texas. You know, fighting for the lead. Verstappen had to pass Hamilton with like 4 laps to go. It was a great race. Mexico, nothing happened. So Mexico, the worst race. Brazil and the British Grand Prix joint for the best race on a 9 out of 10. And Abu Dhabi with the 3. There you go. 3 hours and 40 minutes. And the season's been done. That's it. Listen. Thank you for everyone that's joined me this season. Thank you to everyone that's still watching. Please do drop a like on the stream. You know, maybe people watch this on a replay, on a rerun, not only live, but, you know, the video will stay on the channel. This is the review. How about this? We should react to old F1 videos and upcoming streams. Yeah, I think like you said before, I'll rank the drivers. Probably next week or something we'll do a video on that. But listen, that is the 2022 season, in my humble opinion. Brazil, British Grand Prix, Spanish Grand Prix. First 2 races of the season were great as well. Yeah, that's it. Mexico was a stinker, as well as a lot of the others weren't great. But listen, thank you so much for joining me. This has been the longest stream on this channel because the Japanese Grand Prix was 3 hours and 40 minutes and this is now 3 hours 41. And with the outro, it'll be about 3 hours 45. So this is the longest stream this channel's ever had. Right, guys. Peace out. I've not even got an outro. I've not even got the outro music for this thing. But listen, peace out. See you for the next one. I'll rank the drivers. I'll rank the drivers from worst to best. Spoiler, Latifi's going to be down the bottom. Peace out, guys. That's the 2022 season done and dusted. We've ranked every single race. What a mammoth task that was. Nearly 4 hours. Cheers, guys, and see you for the next video where we rank the drivers from worst to best. Cheers, guys. See you in the next one. Big video that was.